Like, bruh, what's going on, man? What's going on YouTube? What's going on TikTok, man? How y'all doing? Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a good holidays. Hope everybody was thriving, ate some good food and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tap the screen on TikTok, share it live, because the fact that I'm even addressing this is actually hilarious. I came across this clip, Dr. Umar, and I got dudes in my comments even getting mad at it's a few men right in my comments getting mad at what I'm saying on YouTube. So I'm like, what you mad at for, bro? I'm just speaking the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying what it is. Black women or any woman should not financially invest in a man that they're dating. The fact that this even has to be said is actually crazy. It's actually nonsensical. Because what is she gaining besides more debt? Besides the fact that the most likely event that it's going to be for nothing? No, women should not be invested in a man they date. Financially, bro, financially. This dude, Dr. Umar Johnson, said, if it's some love there, or you know, if you have $700 and all he need, basically, let me say it like this: why these dudes always got a plan when they get in a relationship, but they can't never figure out their plans when they're not in one? Why does women have to, this whole helpmate stuff, right? If you're not a wife, if you haven't made her a wife, then she should not be helping you out with anything of that matter. You're a man, bro. And if you're going to call yourself a man, then stand on your own 2 feet. So why is it that dudes can't stand on their own 2 feet without the black woman coming into? These dudes want to be pimps. Oh, you know, hey, listen, baby, I promise. You know, all these broken promises that these ninjas say, right? Baby, I promise. Listen, if you just give me $400 to $500 a month, right? $400 to $500 a month. But if you just invest in this dream, right? I promise that I'm gonna take us to the top. Black women end up broke. Black women end up in debt. Black women end up stressed. Black women end up gaining extra weight because she's stressed out, right? So she's left in a very bad state. And we're talking about dating. We're not talking about marriage. We're talking about dating. These dudes really think that they need to, that when you're dating, a woman's supposed to be your financial backing. That's what a loan is for. That's what a bank is for. If you really got a business idea, present your business idea to the bank, or present your business idea into a well-off entrepreneur that can invest in you. Why don't men ask other men to invest in their business? Why does the black woman have to do it? And then you guys always, what? Vincent on YouTube in the comments says, men with plans should qualify for investment before investing. Men with plans should qualify for. So what are you saying? Are you saying that women should invest in men who? So, and then you're saying women need to stop leaping before looking. Women suck at vetting men. Men suck at marriage. Men suck at commitment. Men suck at loyalty. Men suck at being decent human beings. But you're in the comments. So what are you saying? So a matter of fact, I don't even want to go off on you right now because I honestly don't know what you're saying. So I'm not gonna go off on you. Maybe I'm just feeling you out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you got going on. But anyway, tap the screen, share the live. The point of it is black women are not a bank. And any black woman that is investing in a man who is not your husband, I will say it stiffly to you. You are an idiot. Oh, I will say it very stiffly to you. You are an idiot. You do not let a man run off with your pockets. If he can't stand on his own 2 feet, then he need to cut off them balls. Not literally. I'm just saying. He should be able to stand on his own 2 feet. That if men call ourselves providers, protectors, and all that stuff, right? Alphas this and alpha that, then the man should be able to do that without the financial backing of a woman. Point blank, period. If he cannot do that, then he hasn't earned the title of manhood, because you should be able to provide. And matter of fact, I'm not talking about providing for a woman you're dating. Why are you not marrying the woman? If you broke, why are you dating? I don't want to say that. That's maybe disingenuous. This guy said, "Do I accept you, Kivo? You said, do I accept requests? Send a request. What about men that come first generational poverty? Well, they should work hard to get themselves out of poverty. Women come out of poverty all the time. Women start businesses. Women get their own money. Women get their own bag. Why can't the man do it? Why? You know what? I'm not going to call a black woman, a random black woman, a helpmate when she's not a wife. Why are dudes looking for help? You help yourself. I hate to say it like this, but as white people tell black folks sometimes, lift yourselves up by the bootstraps. Why does the black woman have to lift you up to success? I don't like that shit. Like that's not alpha, nigga. That's not king. That don't scream king, nigga. That screams king. That don't scream manhood. That screams soft, delusional, weak, broke, embarrassed. Thank you. Embarrassing. Don't even call yourself a man when you're looking for that. That's nonsense. So when Dr. Umar was saying that, I was like, bro, are you serious? And then to try to say, well, as the black woman, if you see your king struck king, when you see your king struggling and you understand the systemic oppression that's on the black man and the black woman, then see the difference between the black woman and the white woman is that the white woman will take the black man while he's down because she accepted him at his lowest point. You act like black women don't have stories of accepting black men at their lowest points and then getting left for the white woman, Dr. Umar. I find that funny. When black women invest in a man at his lowest point out of what they call it not potential what potential. No, what? Listen, I don't want to tell. That's a troll in my comment. I don't want to tell. I'm not going to say they should. I'm just going to say it's probably a bad investment. If he's a decent guy, actually, put it like this: where are the decent men? I'm not insurance for nobody. I will never be insurance for nobody. I'm not telling you where I don't know where the good men are. I'm never going to say that's a good man. The good men are over here because I don't know what them niggas do. Men can't even vet men. Men can't even vet men. But then we trying to tell women that they need to vet better. Some of your homeboys put hands on women. And you just ain't come out to say nothing about it. You just ain't come out to say nothing about it. Some of y'all got family members, they got records on SA. But you just ain't come out to say nothing about it. It's just like men promote bad behavior. See, you know what? Because we can really take this live anywhere, right? This ain't really a black man problem, but I'm finna say something. Men in general, men promote bad behavior, bro. These dudes getting mad at Sophie Sky, the goddamn OF model that made $43 million a year. You dudes ain't mad at that. I know you not got to use fake outrage to say that you're mad at Sophie making $43 million a year. What's the difference between her and a strip club? Don't worry, I'll wait. Nothing. Y'all dudes go blow thousands of dollars in strip clubs. But now you're mad at a woman can get online and just make $43 million. There's no way this should be possible. Men made it possible because they have a lust problem. They see booty, they throw ones. They see a nice shape, they throw ones or tens or hundreds or freaking 43 million as a collective group. So I know that fake outrage that I saw on Sophie Sky or whatever her name is. I know y'all not mad about that. Mix me with this nonsense. When I saw dudes getting mad, there's no way that this is possible. Men made it possible, dummy. Men keep spending money on stupid stuff. You went there. So it's married men. How sad and pathetic. Married men that even throw money on OnlyFans. So I'm not mad at her getting her bread. Do I think it's morally correct? Probably not. But hey, if men are promoting the bad behavior, What do you want me to do? It ain't women doing it. It ain't women promoting the bad behavior. It's you dudes doing it. Y'all promote the bad behavior. And then you want to label those certain men simps and panderers and all, or not panderers, simps. But it's still a man. It's still a man. It's still a man. Let me say this. No matter if you call that man a simp, guess what? It's still a man, fam. It's still a man. It's still got a rod and two balls. Hopefully, women do that to men. Women do what to men? What do women do to men? In regards to this, in regards to this, what do women do to men? Women always have been the financial backbone of the black man. The goddamn grandma, no, you know what? I could really take this. I could take it deep, but I ain't trying to do that. When you say women have done this to men, what are you talking about? Women have always been the financial backing of a man. Why do you think we have so many horror stories? Not we, but why do you think black women have so many horror stories about why they shouldn't invest in a man financially? One, she's already giving your time. I mean, she's already giving you her time. She's probably even giving you her body, which is sad still. She's investing meals for you. And now you want her money? Money? No. I appreciate the super sticker. I did see it, Miss Sherpy Pipples. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, but still, when it comes to that, women should not do this. Black women, Asian women, Hispanic women, god dang it, yellow women, purple women, whatever color you chose to wake up to on this late Monday night, right? Whatever that is, you dudes are pimps, and I see right through that. How weak are you to where you need a woman to I'm sorry. You know what? I'm gonna say it. How weak are you that you need a woman to financially invest in your dreams, your goals? Niggas be talking about the vision. Are you blind, nigga? I got this vision, baby. And if only, baby, please, if you would just, we're not married, right? They're not even married. But baby, I got this vision. And I promise, if you just give me $300, baby, I know I'm working at McDonald's. I know I'm at whatever, right? I know that, we don't have the same amount of money. You make more money than me. But if you just take $300, baby, I got this dream, and I promise you, we can do it. I got you. Miss me with this nonsense. She gonna end up broke. I did the math on what Dr. Umar was saying. Dr. Umar said, is it 6? Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Where's my calculator? Because I know I didn't erase it. 16,800. All right. So I did the math when Dr. Umar said, "What if?" Because he used a scenario. He said, "What if he is a good man of character? He got these dreams. He got these aspirations, and he a nice guy. He a decent guy. And y'all been talking for 2 years." This man said, "What if he only needed $700 a month because you was able to do it, nigga, for 2 years? That is $16,800. She's supposed to invest $16,800, nigga. What? Dr. Umar is an idiot." And then I got men in the comments arguing with me, talking about, I didn't understand what he said. I understood what you said. You are a pimp. You a struggle bandit pimp. And you can only ever accomplish anything in life with a black woman financially supporting your broke behind. That is how sad you dudes have become. You need a woman's money to stand on your own 2 feet. Go work 3 jobs. Go work 2 jobs. Save your money. take some time away from the nonsense, put the video games down and all that stuff, and then you got your own vision. Make it real men make their dreams come true. I'm finna make somebody mad. I'm finna make somebody. Men make their dreams come true. Why she gotta invest in your dream? I said this, and I want y'all to understand. I want y'all to understand this. A man's dream, I coined this, by the way, unless somebody else took it. I feel like I said this. So if I say so listen, I coined this. A man's dream is a woman's financial nightmare. Put it on the shirt. You heard it here first. Now, maybe somebody said that before. Maybe somebody said that before. I don't know. But a man's dreams is a woman's financial nightmare. I wouldn't. If I had a daughter and she was dealing with this nice guy, you know, they always nice. They always men of character. They just always broke though. Nice broken character, nice broke character, nice morally, spiritually, financially, just broke. Everything dusty, just broke, right? But they always nice. A nice broke guy. And my daughter was dealing with a nice broke guy, right? You feel me? And she told me that the dude was asking for $500 extra a month to invest in her dreams. I would say, one, you stupid for dealing with this broke guy. I would tell her that. Secondly, no. That's a 500. That's extra 5. And you're not his wife. You're out your goddamn mind. Because what are you getting? You ain't getting no guarantee that this business plan is going to work. This idea is going to work. This vision. Niggas always got a vision that is gonna work. And then what happens when it don't work? Now you done lost $16,800 that could have went into an investment. That could have went into an investment, bro. Miss me with this nonsense. You better not ever stop wasting your time. It's bad enough women waste their time. You know, these dudes like to say they're on a biological clock. I would never say something stupid like that, because a biological clock, because she can't have kids. Niggas don't care about their kids anyway. But you know what? They always say something about a biological clock. I don't refer to people being less than human just because they can't have kids and stupid stuff like that. You know, these stupid statements, right? But I just find it funny. You know why we got statements like behind every successful man was a what? A woman. Why is that though? Why is that though? Why can't we achieve success without a goddamn woman? Why is it a woman can go through the same oppression, the same systemic issues that we go through? Why is it that a woman can rise up from the ashes, get her own business, get her own goddamn money, donate to different places, put money in the black community, but we got to look for the goddamn, she ain't looking for help. The black woman don't be looking for help. You know who be looking for help? Niggas, men. That's who be looking for. We the only ones that helpmate. Help, please. Please. I got, you know, in order for me to marry, I got to see that she down. I got to take her through HE double hockey sticks. I got to make sure she down. We the only ones who use this helpmate term. And then niggas don't even be married. She not even a wife. You talking about a woman you dating. She not even a wife. You want a helpmate? Marry her. You want financial help? Marry her. Because then it's y'all's. It's supposed to be looked at as one flesh. Then it's y'all's. Every single time. Niggas always talking about Dr. Umar talking about you know, the black woman needs to help the black man level up. Nigga, please. Why? I'm trying to speak to your I'm trying to speak to your masculinity right now. I ain't trying to be mean. I'm trying to speak to your masculinity. Why is it that we are so dependent on a goddamn woman that besides our woman? I mean, not woman, a mother, you know, when we were inside the womb, right? Because of course, you're a child, you had to be dependent on your mama. That's another problem too. That's another problem too, right? As a baby, you're dependent on your mama. But why as a man, you can't be independent? You got to look for a woman to help. Baby, invest in me. For what? Y'all niggas is dating. Y'all not married. Why are you asking her for money? Do not invest in no. Do not. I don't even give relationship advice. That's not me. I call out BS. That's what I do. But if I ever don't ever bring that to me, I'm gonna go off. Hey Shannon, I'm dating this guy and he got this really good business plan, but I gotta come off $400, $500 a month. No, I'm gonna tell you no. And then the dude you dating gonna be mad at me. And I'm not. What are you talking about? My guy, you making some the black man makes more than the black woman. Yeah, but I'm talking about to level up as far as starting business and the stuff. You usually have men talking about they need a helpmate, right? And the black man only makes $5,000 more than a black woman. So when you saying stuff like that, but it's usually men that's the ones who dependent on a woman to level up, which is crazy. That's what men say. You got a black man confirming it. So what are you talking about? If you don't, so you think I'm up here lying? Line. I can't stand people that got. All right, well, you come up and talk to me. Let's see what this guy got to say. Because he's saying I like the sound of my voice. You niggas didn't request up, but I like the sound of my voice. You might like the sound of my voice. You might be a little fruity in the booty. Yeah.
Hey, what up, bro?
Yep.
Well, I think you're saying it's just rhetoric and not based in factual.
Rhetoric from what? What's not based in facts?
First of all, you said the black woman has always financially supported the black man, which is false.
She has always financially supported the black man and always been right behind the black man.
Being right behind someone is not financially supported.
And whatever her resources, whatever the black man needed, the black woman was right there doing her part. And she had financially supported black men. What the hell are we talking about?
First of all, financially supporting someone.
Nigga, wait, hold on. Time out. Are you FBA?
Yeah.
No, seriously, where you from?
I don't need to say all that. I answered the question.
No. Where are you from?
Bro, I'm from Harlem, bro.
And you're foundationally black American?
It don't get no more black than that.
I'm just saying, because I just want to know. I just want to know. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't think he is, but go ahead.
You don't have to. Every one of my family's black, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
What kind of black?
African American, bro.
Okay. I see how this one. I see how this gonna play out. Go ahead.
So, anyways, like I was saying, the last stuff you say is rhetoric, my good brother.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the true history of the black culture is that black women and black men actually supported each other. What you're talking about is a specific small demographic of people, and what you're not doing is. So, I have a question. What percentage of black men are in the middle class?
We're gonna play statistics. I'm not gonna do that because we already been down that circle. I'm not gonna play dumb. I'm not gonna play dumb. Dumb. So, because I already know what it leads to. I tell them the numbers. Oh, you didn't know that, but then what about this? And then do you know the history? I'm not going down that circle. Nope. We're not gonna do that. Like, if you have any valid point to disagree with, but if you're saying that the black woman did not financially support the black man and always been behind the black man or beside the black man, however you want to spin it, cap, dumbass. Then he had Trey Songz as his profile picture. Nigga don't even have his own profile.
Yo, my guy, that dude was totally not at all.
Yeah, I'm able to deal with disagreements, but if we're gonna play with the middle class stuff, and I'm over here bringing up history, you're talking about now. And even to this day,
Well,
black
even
women
now-
do financially support black men, even though they should.
Exactly. And in black marriages, it's shown that black women, I think it's something like 60% of them are the primary breadwinner in marriages with black men.
Mhm.
They are the primary breadwinner, or they are egalitarian with their partner, meaning that they earn the exact same amount.
Mhm.
So, or within like $5,000. So black women have always like, there has never been a time where black women didn't work. They literally passed laws to make sure that we worked. Like
Yeah.
during World War I and World War II.
Mhm.
Like we've always worked. We've always had to financially contribute because black men have never earned enough to actually support families like that. That is a rarity. And even in family, like my family is well off. Like, and I don't mean that I'm not like bragging, but like my family owns farms, right?
Mhm.
But even in that, our grandmothers ran the business. Like literally, my grandmother, when my grandfather, who was 47 when he married my 18-year-old grandmother, he married her because she came from a good family with a long name and money. And he married her because she had a better education than he did. The minute that they got married, within a year, she doubled all of the earnings that he was making from the store and from the farm. Because that's what women do. That's what black women have always done. They bolster everything. You give us $1, we'll make it 50. And that's just how we work.
Mhm.
So I don't understand these dudes. I'm gonna go on mute and
Because-
let
No, it's just
ball
because
and chain.
yeah, we're gonna see what he's talking about. But it's just because like I say something, they want to spin it. No, we work together. But the truth of the matter is, behind every successful man was a woman putting in work behind him, whether it was financially, whether it was helping out with the business, however that may be, the woman was there. She's the God on his truth. But anyway, my God, how you say your name? You got to come off mute. Fam, you got to unmute your mic.
Bandit.
This nigga's name is Bandit. That's crazy. All right, because it literally is. I'm not calling him a bandit. I'm
So I have a
Yes. What's going on?
Yeah. So
You're white.
are you saying that men are less than if they want financial support from their spouse?
Are you financial? Before I answer that, are you foundationally Black American?
I'm sorry, could you say it again?
Are you foundationally Black American?
Yeah.
Are you Black? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your question?
Are you saying like men are less than if they receive support from like their girlfriend or like spouse?
I never. What did I say? I said men can't stand on their own 2 feet without a woman. I wouldn't say the less than, but it's just a damn shame that men are always looking for a helpmate from a girlfriend. She's not even your wife. No woman should be financially supporting a man that she is not married to.
I have a question. So I kind of find it interesting because I have a different perspective on that. My uncle is probably the most wealthy man that I know, and he had a girlfriend throughout college who did real estate, and he was an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what he had going on, what I think probably, or to what he has said, he said the biggest reason for his success is his ability to kind of fall back on his girl. He had a decent income at that time because she was doing real estate. And he had 7 to 8 businesses that had failed before he ever had a startup that actually took off. So I guess I find it interesting that you're saying that almost like it's a shame.
It is because
Like,
why is it that a woman?
Is,
Yeah, it is a shame, and that should really be something that's studied, right? Why is it that the man needs help, but the woman can make shit shake without the financial backing of a man? That's crazy, but we're supposed to be the
case by case. I don't think that.
Can you turn on your
Right,
camera?
your story just supported that.
You literally just proved my point with your own anecdotal. You said that he fell back on his wife, right? His girlfriend, right?
And what's wrong with that? No, I feel like that's
Man, I'm just.
They weren't married. And okay, so he never had a successful business until this woman basically either taught him or financially supported him until he actually became successful. She was already successful, and we know this because she was supporting your uncle in all of his failed businesses. Okay? So she was fine. And honestly, she probably would have been in a better position had she not been effing with your uncle. But your uncle would not have been in a good place if he did not have her. Huh?
I think she benefited from being with him.
No, actually, she didn't. No, she didn't. Because you see, anytime women have to support men, we lose time on working on ourselves, my God. So she would have been in a much better position had she not dealt with if she didn't have to financially support your uncle.
Wait, so are they still together to this day?
But my uncle is 10 times more wealthy.
Are they still together to this day?
They are.
Are they married?
Yes, they are.
Is she entitled to have if everything
Yes,
goes? Is she entitled to have, in just in case everything goes to shit?
Potentially, I'm unaware.
Okay, well, I just hope that she's entitled. I just hope that she's entitled to have everything in case everything goes to track. But you literally proved my point that. But I just literally said behind every successful man is a what?
Okay.
You just proved my point. I
wasn't here for the entirety.
Oh, but I'm saying behind every successful man is a successful woman or a good woman. Yeah, and who is investing time, energy, and resource into whatever that man got going on, and she did it as a girlfriend. And I'm saying women should not do that. So we oftentimes say women need men. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Your mic is you sound far away.
Okay, so individually, you said behind every successful man is a successful woman.
Yeah, that's why we have statements like that. Yes.
Back men, essentially.
I'm sorry.
So why would you say that women shouldn't be doing that?
Because it's a bad investment. This is to deconstruct. It is amazing how a single woman or a woman with kids, whatever, can rise from the ashes, can become successful, start a home business, and do all these different things. But a man is completely dependent on a woman in order to reach success. That's a damn shame. That should that's a damn shame, because if we're calling ourselves leaders, providers, take out the protective part, but leaders and providers, it's a damn shame that we need a woman in order to lead ourselves out of brokenness.
Individual as a man, if you are a leader as a man, who are you leading if not somebody else?
But you're not leading financially if you need your woman or a woman to come in and invest in you. You're supposed to be Well, I ain't gonna say supposed to be. I don't want to sound patriarchal or whatever. But I'm sorry.
So that man, the only way I can possibly lead as a man is financially.
It's not the only way, but I'm saying that should be a top priority. If you're calling yourself this leader and provider thing, run course and course, because it goes leader, provider, protector. Providing. You wasn't providing on the scale that you did as a man until a woman was by your side. You couldn't reach success until a woman was by your side. You could amount to no type of business having anything in your name until a woman came in place. That's a damn shame. And we need to ask ourselves, we calling ourselves men, and we still I'm sorry. What did you say?
You don't want that to be the case, is what you're saying?
No, it shouldn't be the case. You can't call yourself leaders, providers, right? And then you need a woman. You need a woman to achieve success. That's a damn shame. That should shoot you in your masculinity. That should hit your masculinity. If we're going to use these terms as men, then
I believe myself to be a leader.
I think you're gonna fight to miss the point.
But you're not leading shit.
I think you're gonna fight to miss the point every time.
Oh yeah, he's like he poked his own eyes out so he couldn't see it. Okay, how are you a leader? Okay, if you have to rely on somebody else to do everything else to build you up, but then you're in charge. Do you see how that doesn't work? Because that's like stating, oh well, my child's the leader. The baby's the leader in that situation because the baby needs parents who handle everything for them. They need everyone to take care of everything for them, but somehow they're in charge, right? That's what you're going with. That's your position. Because the man's the baby.
No, I don't think that's
Hate to break it to you.
Okay, so
No, but it is.
so you think it should be that way, that a woman should have to be, huh? Hold on, let me mute you real quick, KJR. Oh, no, she did also. Now, what were you saying, brother? Brother, what were you saying?
Wait, you gotta give me a second.
Really getting a bad feeling about the skin.
You seem to be from the Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah, but I'm letting them rock. But because this could even apply to Caucasian men as well. But
So you're saying it's a bad investment? Because in my mind, I don't see how that's a bad investment on a woman's part. I guess
a lot of women lose on
to my knowledge, she's
to find what?
More. She's 10 times more because she was capable of holding it down for whatever amount of time it was. She's 10 times more wealthy now than she probably ever would have been. So I guess I'm a little bit confused.
A lot of most women lose out on financially supporting a man that she's not married to. If we're talking about dating, right? Dating, you should not be investing into a man that you're dating. But it's different if you're married, but that's y'all's. That becomes ours. It's our business. It's our everything. But if you're dating and you're talking about financially support, why is it that you couldn't accomplish these dreams and goals? And all of a sudden now you got a business plan and all this when you're dating the woman now? Why is it that men cannot reach a level of success without a woman being tied to us, but yet a woman can? That is what I'm saying. If you want to think it's a bad thing, you can. If you don't want to think it's a bad thing, you can. I think it's a bad thing, and that should really be a shot at our masculinity. Don't call yourself a leader and provider if you cannot do these things without a woman. It seems to me on a society. It seems to me on a societal. Don't bring nobody else up just for a second. It seems like on a societal basis that men need women, but women don't need the man when it comes to success. Because I know y'all gonna try to. I know y'all gonna. Some of y'all gonna try to spit. Some of you dudes gonna try to spit. I'm not about to play that. I don't got time for that shit. Because honestly, men don't need women. Women don't need men. But when it comes to financial success and all that shit, it seemed like it seemed like men are dependent on women in order to achieve anything in life. But go ahead. I digress.
I don't know if it's necessarily maybe I could be missing the point. I don't feel like it's necessarily a men depending on women thing or a women depending on men thing. I think rather success in and of itself is never just like a singular thing. Like I can do this on my own, even though there might be cases where that is the case. I think more often than not, it's always no one gets successful by themselves. I want to say ever. Like that doesn't seem realistic anyway.
Are you serious?
The idea of me having somebody help me be successful.
Have you looked into? Do you? Okay, you said you're black, right?
I am. I think it takes a village.
You see, the black woman has no problem reaching success and no problem getting herself out of what can I say? Poverty. She has no problem starting a business. She has no problem doing things on her own, and she has no problem finding success on a major scale without a man being attached. But when it comes to men,
I don't know. I feel like single black women as of right now are on the low end of the food chain right now.
Low end of the food chain.
Hold on. I'm going to bring up one name that you should know if you are actually black. Madam C.J. Walker. Madam C.J. Walker, a formerly enslaved woman who was literally left by her piece of shit husband, and she became the wealthiest woman in the United States. Not black woman, woman. She was richer than most white tea men. She did that
So
by
that's-
herself.
Would that be I have a question? Would that be the exclusion or the norm?
That's actually kind of the norm. Because if we look through
Really?
successes within the black community overall, let's look at Bob Johnson. Now, Bob Johnson, he had BET. Now, here's the part that Bob doesn't like to talk about because his wife, Sheila, she's the reason he got all those connections because Sheila's family is very, very well known. Sheila's family had money. Sheila had a ton of business connections and she had a great personality. So once she and Bob divorced, and Bob, he sold BET, Bob hasn't done shit. But Sheila has created the United States' only diamond level resort in the country in an area where they did not want black people to be at all. And now she is the premier businesswoman of that area. So that is the norm. That's how black women roll. She built Bob up, she built BET, and he did shit.
I don't know. I feel like it's interesting. You can just give me one singular story of a woman being successful and say that's the norm. When I feel like
I just gave you two. Negro, I just gave you two.
Hold on, but let me mute you real quick. Let me get these other people on the pen. Hold on. Roland, give me a sec. Yeah, thank you. Roland, hold on one sec, because we're gonna start with Lady T. But Roland, can you speak for me for a second? Just say something.
I can't speak for you. I can only speak for myself, bro.
Nigga, you know what the hell I meant. Mute your mic.
No, I don't.
You mute your mic, bro. I was just saying, can you speak real quick? But you good. Lady T, go ahead. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I just wanted to touch on something that was already kind of spoken on. Women are synonymous with being able to overcome adversity and still prosper. And a lot of times that goes into what's called our blind labor. A lot of the work that women do behind the scenes is often used against us because of the fact we humble ourselves a little too much, sometimes to a fault. We don't always let it be known how much of a contribution we're making to a man's success. So they feel comfortable to kind of discredit us in public spaces because we're not always the first to say, hey, you built that career on my back. Hey, I put you through medical school. I put you through dentistry school. I invested in you to the point where you were able to invest in yourself. And when it was time for you to look back and pull me up, you just looked down on me.
That part.
Roland, go ahead and jump in, brother.
Yeah, I have 2 questions for the panel. So, if this statement is true, how do gay men become successful?
Why do we bring, you say gay men?
Yes.
We're not gonna bring up the LBG. I don't have no
I never
desire.
said you had a problem.
But we're not gonna bring it. We're talking about heterosexual relationships. I am not speaking on the LBGTQ plus IA or however you say it. I always get it wrong. We're not using that. We're not using that. Fam, we're not using that. Pick another example.
Okay.
Pick another example.
Why did they create spousal support?
Because men stopped taking care of their families. So what would happen, and this was created by white tea men for white tea men.
If you was the brand,
Sir, black men don't pay. Sir, less than 10% of men pay spousal support in general. And majority of those men are white tea. So shush. The whole idea of spousal support. No.
If they're the brand,
It's for white ninja. I just explained this to you.
but why
That was something that was ordered for white tea men for white tea women. Because white tea men had a long habit.
If you have more money than a man,
I just said that less than 10%.
Oh, say so. Here's how it's gonna go. You asked, but Roland, hold on. You asked the question. She has not even finished responding. You cannot interject and then start saying a whole bunch of other shit. If you're gonna let her go, you gotta let her respond, and then you can respond. That's how conversations happen. So, KRG, please finish what you were saying.
Okay, so spousal support is paid when there is an equitable amount of funds in the home. So that would be like a homemaker. Okay. Again, this is why it is not common in the Black community. Okay. Again, if less than 10%, I think it's right at 9.6% of people receive spousal support upon divorce. 9.6%. Of that 9.6%, 90% of it is white women who receive it. So you are bringing up a community that is not ours. We're not talking about that. So I don't know why you think that that's some sort of gotcha moment, my guy. Again, Black men do not earn enough money on average to pay spousal support.
I disagree.
Okay, he disagrees. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so what did you have another disagreement?
Oh, okay. So you're saying all the women make more money than the men.
Nobody said that. Nobody. Well, go ahead and finish your set because I'm
okay,
going.
So why don't the men get spousal support from the women then?
Some have one spousal support, bro. Some men have one.
What's the percentage on that?
It's a very small percentage. It's a very small percentage.
So who gets more spousal support, men or women in the Black community?
Answer that question.
In the Black community, who gets more spousal support?
Men or women?
I don't know how we got spousal support, but
in certain cases, because about half of the people right now, especially Black women who are getting married, are making as much or a little more than their spouses. So what we're seeing with women being the initiators of most divorces, if it's no fault divorce, yes, they are ending up paying out alimony. If it's not if they're able to prove fault or infidelity or anything like that, they're usually able to either get it reduced or completely out of the question altogether. So yes, there are women paying alimony, and actually about half of the women that are married right now are in a position where they're making more or at least as much as their partners or their counterparts.
But you didn't answer the question: who's making who's paying more spousal support? Black women or Black men?
Black women.
Black women.
Black women.
Y'all crazy.
Okay, so Jennifer Hudson, she pays spousal support. Did you know that?
You know, all them basketball players and football players pay spousal support to their first wives.
So again, when we're talking about football players and basketball players, let's see why that would be.
Jennifer Hudson.
Oh my God.
Okay, now I'm going to
hold on, KRG. Hold it for a second. Hold it for a second, KRG. Give me 1 second, brother. Because we're gonna go down the rabbit hole. Are you gonna address the prompt? You gotta unmute your mic.
I thought that's what we was doing.
No, we never. You took it to here. I didn't take it to there. You took it to spousal support. Then we're gonna end up on another train wreck. Then we're gonna go all the way here. Then we're gonna go all the way, and it's like, bro, address the prompt. You don't agree with the prompt? And we're talking.
I agree with the first statement. Yes.
Black women are not a bank.
Yes.
So. Okay, so you agree with that. So what about these two? What's wrong with these two?
Men do it all the time. Stand on there too. Like, you don't think men are handling business
financially?
Financially, yes. Yes.
So do most black men achieve the success that they have without the woman? Like multiple businesses, a few houses. Do they have people that don't say? Okay. All right.
Yes, all the time.
I said, do most black men achieve without a woman being right behind them? Because we would, if that was true, we wouldn't have statements like behind every successful man was a what?
That's by support. You're saying financial. I'm talking about mental support. Just being there.
The women do be investing their finances into his dream vision.
Most of the women are stay-at-home wives. They don't have no money.
Most women in what community? In what community? What community is it?
Community.
In ours?
I pay all my girl bills.
Bro, we're not talking about you, nigga. In what community? You saying black?
In the black community.
Get the fuck out of here. You're not in the black
I'm
community.
not.
You're not in the black community?
I'm a part of the black community.
So, okay, this is why words fucking matter. I said specifically, in what community? You used your anecdotal self to explain that you pay all the freaking bills. You're not the only one, nigga. I do too, nigga. So with that being said, most men do not do that. In our community, most of our black women, and I say our like ownership, but y'all gotta stick with me. Don't go to the extreme. Most black women are working in their relationship. They have a job. So what are you talking about? That's the majority of our women. That's why even black men say black women have always worked. That's why black women say black women have always worked, because they never had a time period where they couldn't fucking work.
And why is that? Was it because of black men or society?
It was because of slavery, and it was because of slavery, and it was because of society. But even going back beyond that, black women were still working. Whatever they would do, they have always worked. We're not gonna play stupid and try to play this dumbass game. What I'm saying is black women have always worked, and in most marriages, she is working. She don't have the luxury because most men cannot do it on their own.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh my God, go ahead, bro.
Can you name 3 black women billionaires that made it on their own and made becoming a billionaire on their own?
Can you name 3 black men?
Huh?
Can you name 3 black men? I can name Oprah. I mean, I can look it up. Let's see. 3 black
why you gotta
women.
look that up?
Because you just asked me a question. I could look it up.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 3 black women billionaires. You asked me a question. I can't name them by heart, but let me see.
Hold up, bro. I'm about to come back. I'm about to take a smoke break. What do you think I'm blind?
So I don't think Rihanna wasn't married at the time, but she had became a billionaire. But Rihanna, Oprah, let's see who else. They say Beyonce is a billionaire. I don't know if that's true yet. I don't know if that's true. But then she was with Jay-Z. It's a Nigerian fashion woman. Hajabola. I can't say her name right. This nigga left. He did say he was leaving. All right, well, yeah. I couldn't name all 3 of them by heart, but I could look them up. He trying to act like it wasn't any black women billionaires. I'm like, okay, well, like damn, like, and some of them not married. So that nigga said he gonna. I don't know what the point of that was. I don't know what the point of that was. I don't know why niggas be trying to gaslight and think that I'm up here lying. And how long has Jay-Z been with Beyonce? That nigga wasn't a billionaire when they got together. You don't think there was any type of financial backing there at all?
But that's what I mean by blind labor, because all we see is the arm candy part. What's happening behind the scenes with the connections and the networking and what's happening at these meetings and stuff where these deals are being made, that is where the real value of that partnership is really being used.
And I don't even know why we said billion. I don't know why we went to the extreme number, but that's fine.
Hey, can you hear me, boss?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just want to address a couple of things.
Rihanna. I was just going to name some. Oprah, Rihanna. What's her name? Sheila Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is, the problem I have with that is that the first 2 women that you named, they made their fortune off degenerative behavior.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're not going to.
It matters because the drug dealers don't get credit for being a millionaire. So, but besides that, though, I will admit that black women have been.
All of Rihanna's. All of Rihanna's.
If somebody made a fortune of immoral behaviors, you have to take that into an account.
Well, then Jay-Z don't count. Fuck it. All the throw all the rappers away.
I agree.
Throw all the fucking rappers away.
No, see, here's the thing. It's a difference between a rapper and a bona fide musician. I'm sorry, a musician. So, for an example, like Quincy Jones deserved every dollar he made. But that's besides the point. Now, I will agree that Black women have been the backbone of the household for almost ever. Well, that's still
Quincy Jones exploited the labor of Black women, right? That's how he built his fortune, was by exploiting the talents of Black women.
I agree, but the whole music industry did a whole lot worse than what.
But you said he earned every dollar. You said he deserves every dollar, though. But he did it in more acting.
He deserved every dollar because he was musically he was talented, and he actually is responsible for a lot of jewels.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Wait, time out.
For example, the soundtrack for The Wiz.
But wait, time out, brother. Wait, let me interject real quick. Real quick. Hold on. Wait. 1 second. Talent that's opinion based. People can say this person talented, whatever. When you look at the rappers, they're talented enough to make songs about what they've been through, whether it's drill music, whether it's degenerate music, whatever you want to call it. So this argument that you're
minority.
This argument
that small minority.
But wait, this argument that you're spinning, technically they would deserve every dollar that they made because they're just talking about what they seen or what they were part of, but they were talented.
Okay,
so they deserve they deserve their money.
I'll put it this way. I appreciate the music that Jay-Z and artists like him made, but it's the difference between somebody like Jay-Z and somebody who know how to play an instrument. That's besides the point. Let's get back to the main topic. I just brought that up just to laugh at the fact that y'all started naming, two exceptions. Once again, exceptions do not change. I'll leave that alone. Anyways,
Oprah and Sheila Johnson. Oprah and Sheila Johnson.
Okay, how many Black women are there in the world? And so that's like less than 0.000.
My God, I didn't even bring up. But time out. I didn't bring up billionaires as success. That was that other nigga. He wanted to go to the extreme number. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know that. That's the reason why I say leave it alone. But I just want to get on to say something. Okay, I just want to let it be known. For one, y'all act like my parents were born in the 64. So I'll put it this way. My father, my grandfather, every man from their generation and before, they worked 60 to 80 hours a week. My dad just retired after working at UPS for over 35 years. And let's just say, if you work salary, the hours can be crazy. I don't know not one Black woman that worked more than 50 hours a week. And if they work 40 hours a week, they complaining left and right. So my
great grandma. Hold on, wait, no. No, we're not gonna do that. My great grandma, who could not read and write, had to be a maid, and she couldn't even read the bus stop, but she never caught the wrong bus home. She never caught the wrong bus home. That was God's favor on her. I truly believe that. And she said, "Wait, no, talking about because we applied to me." Okay, but you said you can't name when y'all say stuff like that. That's when I go in because you said I don't know any Black woman. I know a Black woman who was left by my great grandpa, and she still made it happen, working 80 hours a week and had to take the bus everywhere. So when you say time out. But no. When you say it like that, you got to understand when y'all be saying, I don't know these women will come up and speak.
Okay. I'll clarify. I'm talking about a woman that was born after 1970. Let me clarify that because women that was born after 1970 is nowhere near like our grandmothers and the women before.
Okay, so do you not think that taking care of children and taking care of a home is work?
Trust me. Hey, my mom has been a stay-at-home mom since 1985, and the fact that my success, my brother's success, let's just say.
So, how many hours a week do you think your mother spent on mothering you? How many hours a week do you think your mother spent on mothering you and wifing your father?
See, I'm glad you brought that up because my mom and dad are extremely strict, and they had us on a schedule to where all the household chores were done by me and my brother. So my mom literally sat at home and watched.
So you were 2 years old. So you were 2 years old. So you're 2 years old cleaning up. 2 years old.
Okay, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest of three.
Wait, hold on, KRJ. I want to let him finish the story time. Go ahead.
My mom has been a stay-at-home mom since 1985.
Okay.
The dishes in the bathroom, all the man stuff has been getting taken care of since at least 1997. So okay, I will give her credit of all the stuff that she do behind the scenes, as well as like the small important stuff like giving me a ride to school or picking me up from football. But you guys are disingenuous by trying to equate that to working 60 hours of a labor intensive job. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand.
What do you mean by labor intensive? What do you mean by labor intensive? Hold on.
Labor intensive, like working in a foundry. I never met a
wait. Time out. Work is work. I'm not about to play the game. Put it like this. The black woman.
Do not do that.
We gonna do that. Work is work.
Because the
work is, it doesn't matter. No, I'm talking about the amount of hours. I don't give a fuck if she's sitting behind a desk for 60 hours. That's clocking in overtime, right? I don't care if she's working at if she working at a warehouse.
Taking retirement.
The average black woman has not had the experience to be a stay-at-home housewife. So when you're saying it like this, it doesn't make any sense. They've always worked.
All right, boy, you a liar like a mug. Boy, hey, this is a recent phenomenon where women even started working more than 40 hours a week. Now the cases you referring
so
to.
The laws.
Hold on 1 second. The cases that you're referring to when you say that your grandmother worked all these hours a week, okay, I agree that did exist. We not about to act like even, let's say 25%, well, more than 25% of the black households fell in that category, because at that time, if you had a GED, you could get it. You could get a job that really could take care of a whole family, unless you stay in the middle of nowhere in Alabama or something like that. I don't know now one person who's physically able to work back before, especially in your grandmama generation, who wasn't able to take care of a family. Now you must be talking so far back, and I'm thinking you talking about sharecropper generation where she had to work.
When did sharecropping start in the United States?
Well, I say sharecropper generation. So in other words, my grandmother.
No. What year? No. Okay, sir. No, sharecropping. No. Actually, there is an exact year. Sharecropping ended in the United States in 1968.
Hey, okay, I'm glad you said that, because it's full of shit. Because not only do my dad have, not only do my dad have a shit ton of land, but my great uncles had a shit ton of land, because they actually, they were unofficial sharecroppers. They just say they got their land via, I don't know. They just say the guy who owned the land, he went on his deathbed, he just sold it to us for pennies on the dollar. It was really because of unpaid wages.
No, he was probably their grandfather, sir. See, my family, we've had our farm for almost 200 years now. Okay,
man,
we've had our farm for a long time.
But man,
we don't raise cotton; we raise cattle, and we raise horses. So it's a big difference. So just because your family picked cotton and has some land which has been destroyed because they grew cotton on it. Well then, but they were still cropping, because sharecropping has to do with either managing crops like cotton, which is what was found, mainly in Mississippi, that sugar cane, rice. Those are things that are grown in Mississippi.
When did black women stop working? That's what I want to know. What year did black women stop working, do anything? What year was that? Anybody got that year?
See, here's the thing. I think you got a battery in your back, because it's I don't know.
A battery in my back.
Yeah, I don't know what the last people have been saying, but I will say that there is extensive research done on what caused women to even join the workforce in droves.
When did black women stop working specifically?
100 years when white women joined the workforce. So it's still.
When did black women stop working?
You said.
When did black women ever stop working?
I'm saying, you asking me a statement I never made. What I'm saying is that, okay, the success that black women are having is new. We not about to sit here and act like it is new. Okay, I'll put it this way. I guarantee you, if somebody's fun and survey,
you can't
you
answer.
ask them out of 10 black women that you know, how many of those 10 black women make more than $60,000 a year?
What does that mean? What's the average black man make?
I do.
I want to say it's a little less than that.
And then from what age range? Like you know what I'm saying? You gotta have. But actually, go ahead.
But I don't know the young lady who just spoke. I don't know her name, but I will agree once again that there are exceptions. Especially if you have a bachelor's degree or if you've even been in college for more than 2 years. Of course you know more than the average black man. But we not about to sit here and act like
I have a master's degree. I have a master's, a double
Bro,
master's.
this shit is hilarious.
I'm proving my point even more.
This shit is hilarious.
The only black women I know who make that type of money are the ones who actually stay in school, not just went to school and dropped out, but the ones who finished school. And on top of that, all the women that I know who actually got their degree, except probably maybe less than 10% of the people that I graduated with, they actually make a decent amount.
All right, go ahead and continue because, like, you know, we still got 2 other prompts. So I don't know. I'm waiting on you to get to something.
Man, pretty much what I'm trying to say. So I'm saying, no, see, here's the thing. I'm getting tired of this intoxicated statements that people are making. Okay, I'm glad that black women are successful. But the thing is that we're not about to do is about to demonize every Negro. Well, see, here's the problem. Y'all put Negroes and black men in the same category. We're not about to sit here and act like black men have always been fucking up. And to me, this kind of, I won't say y'all sound racist, but it sounds like you guys have been around the wrong type of Negroes too much to the point to where you believe some bullshit.
When the fuck did I say? When the fuck did I say? When the fuck did I say black men? Right? And when did I degrade black men?
I mean, you didn't.
No. Talk about because we not. I don't care about. Hold on. I don't care about what nobody.
I got a battery in my. I'll stay back because I got a battery.
Yeah. So this is about the exploitation of certain black men that use black women or thinking that a black woman is a fucking bank. No woman should be investing in a man she's dating. Point blank, period. If you invest in a man you've been dating for 2 years, I will call you a dumbass woman. You're an idiot.
Okay, but let me ask you this though: do women suck at picking men? Specifically,
so in general, black women. So you don't want me to say a generalization. But now you're about to generalize. But now you time out. But now you're about to make a general statement based on bussy popping pills in your ass. That comes from that saying women suck at choosing men. Okay, we act like
they allow a lot of those problems to occur. That's
who promotes bad behavior. Who promotes bad behavior?
Okay, it trust me, it's more complex and it's really extensive than
who promotes the type of behavior, because I already know the type of energy that we're on here from man to man, right? I know the type of energy.
Genders.
Who
both the genders promote it.
Do women mostly
talking about ethnicity?
Who promotes bad behavior the most?
See,
matter of fact, you even pay for it. You even pay for it. We pay for it.
Okay, yeah, but see,
okay. So you promote who promotes bad?
Huh? Always promoted it, but the problem that I'm trying to get you to understand is that the modern black woman is even just as bad as the black men. That's the problem that I.
No, she's not.
A young. Oh my God.
No, she's not. The modern black woman is not just.
Music? Do you hear the music that these black women are constantly bobbing their heads?
Who started it? Who started it? Please tell me who started it.
Sir, I'm from
no, nigga, wait, time out. Just time out. Wait, time out. Cause we gonna spin. Who, nigga? Bro, no, we not. Shut the fuck up. You keep talking. Who started it? Everything that a man has done, a woman has responded to. I'm sick of this BS. Okay, you niggas talk about Trina, Sexy Reds, and all these. I don't know. Y'all call them degenerate women, right? These degenerate women, right? But it was men talking about, I fuck the bitch. The bitch suck my dick. Treat the bitch wrong. The bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all be doing. We started that shit.
Blame too, though. They deserve blame too. I'm not saying men do not deserve.
But you're you're trying to say, look at what the woman did.
No. See, you mentioned your grandmother earlier. See, the thing
We get back to the grandmother.
Listen. 1 second. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm trying to prove in another facet that the modern black woman is nothing like what women used to be. And what I mean by that is now that women are just as
that black women aren't having
men
children
want to
until
be-
they're 25 and a half on average. When the average black girl was having children in the 80s at around 17, that was the average age for black women to give birth.
That
Before
still
then,
was
it
bad.
was
That
16.
still was bad.
Yeah.
Hold on, but those, no, if we go back to the 60s, the average age for a black girl to get married and have kids was in her teens, like 16, 17. That was the average age of marriage.
I
Okay.
need the source on
So,
that.
okay, you can go on to
Now, and when you say the average age is 16, 17, is that for the whole country?
I just
or is that for-
but wait. I want to go back to this. You saying that look at these women look at the men today. The men today are bitches. And I'm not saying
my brother.
a lot of the men today, a lot of the men today do not have the same stature or not accomplishing things. They was moving through systematic problems. We still got them today. They was dealing with a whole bunch more problems. Okay, and they were able to overcome. They was more. If you even look at the men back in the day, I won't say they were more masculine. Their voice was greater. Their stature was greater. The way that they walked was greater. Everything about it. Now these niggas today.
Question. Hey, pause. When I'm gonna point out. I'm gonna ask you a question. That's gonna point
you
out.
have to remember. Hold on, can I speak to this real quick? Well, we also have to look at those men. Those are the same men who were in their 30s marrying 12 and 14-year-old girls. Those are the same men
that don't
who still
count.
could not financially support a whole family because they still needed their 12 and 13-year-old wives to go be somebody's maid for several hours a week and then come home and take care of all their damn kids. Those are the same men who tried to stop their women from getting educations. So let's not deify these men of old, please.
I'm not
Please stop
deifying
that
them.
bullshit.
I never do.
I did. She's referring. She's referring to me. She is referring to me.
I did, but okay, all right. This is I'm gonna say one more thing, sir. Now you just said we can all agree that dudes my age, I'm a 94 baby, ain't shit. I am an exception. I'm not about to toot my own horn, but I will admit that my own friends ain't shit. I got at least 2 deadbeat daddies who are you. Well, let's just say we associates. But what I'm trying to say is that these men became feminine and became some floozies due to, let's just say there's a correlation with the rise in the single mothers. And if you ask me, a weak mother, and see, this is the reason why, I think it's extremely important to have a strong woman, whether she black or not, in the household, because they are the ones who would dictate what the next generation would look like. So if you ask me, the reason, the behaviors of our men today is largely on the shoulders, was largely due to the mistakes of black women. Now, I'm not saying they solely deserve all of the blame, because.
But you're saying they deserve the majority?
Yes, because I'll put it this way.
I got the solution going into 2025. In 2025, listen. In 2025. No, wait, hold on. Lady, I'm gonna let you respond. I'm gonna let you respond. But my G, men, since I hear y'all talk like this, don't call yourself a leader no more. Because if everything come back down to the fucking woman, the woman this, the woman that, we don't ever ask where the fuck the dads are, what happened. You niggas couldn't fight the white man, you lost, right? We can't say if I say wait, time, no, don't let me cook. You couldn't fight daddy government when he supposedly kicked your ass out the household, even though a lot of y'all was leaving. Everything comes back to the black woman. So stop calling yourself a fucking leader and get the hell out the way. All right, from that point forward. Because I already heard these dumbass talk. Well, they're a majority to blame. If you are a damn leader, get your ass in the motherfucking house, get your ass in the community, get your ass up and go be a mentor to those kids that are in single mother, that are being raised by single mothers and stuff. Get out the way. Okay, stop calling yourself leaders or none of that stuff, because it seemed like and of course, if she's with the child majority of the time and the man's not there, right? More mistakes is going to be made because the man's not there. It's all on her. Mistakes, quote unquote, mistakes.
But see, the thing is, sir, I don't think. Now, see, here's the thing. I don't think a man should be away from his kid more. Let's just say if a father should spend as much time as he can with his kid. But see, the thing is, you got to get me to the point where I'm preaching. But here's the thing, sir.
So your daddy works 60 hours a week.
More than 60 hours a week. He was a manager. He's been a manager of Yes, he's been a manager at UPS since 1994.
So let's say he worked. So he worked about 70 hours a week. So 70 hours a week, that equates to what? Right around 9.5 hours per day, correct? Plus commute.
Sometimes even more. I'm talking about on average, ma'am. If you know anybody that works salary at UPS, when you are a manager, especially depending on the position,
I'm going to keep going. So how much time did he actually spend with you?
Because your dad was at work most of the time. Like, what do you mean, on average per week or per month or per day?
Per day, how many hours?
Wait, I don't want to dig into this man personally. I want him to.
We ate dinner together every night, and on top of that, and this is another thing. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna address what he said. I think it's important to even though I do put a lot of blame on Black women, I still blame the men. But see, here's the thing.
Not at the same rate.
But here's check it out. Okay. Unfortunate circumstances do not mean that you need to that you get to be a piece of shit as well and need to allow your kid to run the street. Is what I'm saying is, okay, it's fucked up that you chose the wrong dude. Okay, once you cry, pull up your drawers and do what your mama and grandmama did and take care of them babies. If you can't take care of them kids fully by yourself, reach out to the church, reach out to your grandmother. That's why it's important to have a strong family unit. So if you do need help, you got somebody.
You do realize that specifically the Southern Baptist Church has had over 500,000 complaints of SA towards children just over the past 15 years.
I never said
reach out to the church.
I never said hand the kids.
No, that's the church.
I said if you need help. So in other words, if you need some financial assistance or if you need some food.
How many churches actually do that?
Doing that, sir. They're not doing that.
Mine does. Mine does. Mine does. Tony Gaskins Church does. Jackie Hill Perry Church does. I could name these church. Smart Christian Church does. But get back to the point. Go ahead. You're telling these women to reach out.
What I'm saying is,
they're not doing it.
Once again, we know the Black men have dropped the ball on a lot of things for the last 40 to 50 years, but that still don't negate the mistakes the Black women have made.
Nobody ever.
Based on your rhetoric, it sounds like you want to whitewash that away and give them an excuse, and then just shit on Black men. Okay.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Time out. Pause. I can't stand. Wait. Time. Stop. Pause. This live wasn't degenerate. Being an asshole to Black. Now I can, but I'm not going to. This wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing that. I was talking about what some certain type of Negroes think, that the Black woman is a bank, that she needs to invest in a man that she dates. There are men who think like this, and they're even arguing with me in my comments on YouTube. They're arguing with me on TikTok. So I'm addressing that type of mindset, like she's supposed to be the financial backing of a Negro. She's not. That's not her job. She's not. All right. She's not. Yeah, but this whole throwing up this, you're shitting on Black men. I didn't even say nothing about this live. Is shitting on Black men. If you don't agree with men can't stand on their own 2 feet without them, there's a fucking question mark at the end of it. There's literally a question mark at the end of it. Because what I'm noticing is the only people that scream out for help when it comes to the term helpmate is who? A fucking man. Why? And I'm asking myself, speaking on some real masculine stuff, patriarchal, right? We can unpack that too. We can talk about it, but from what the men say. Nigga, if I am a leader, provider, why is it that I need a woman's help that I'm dating? She's not even my wife. So no, she should not be investing in me with her money because she most likely gonna lose. if ain't no guarantee, hold on. If ain't no guarantee that this business even gonna work, that's what the fuck you have banks for. That's what you have loans for. But her, no, she should not be doing that on a dating dating a man for 2 years, 5. That's stupid.
I agree.
So you talking about you flipped it to a whole bunch of black. Wait, hold on, boss, hold on. You flipped it to a whole bunch of black men this and black men that. I ain't even playing Oppression Olympics because that's a battle we know we're gonna lose. I'm not even doing it. I'm not even up here giving black women a pass. I didn't say anything like that. You came up and threw up households and this, that, and the third. I'm challenging your thoughts, but I'm not giving nobody a pass. You don't think that there's bad mothers out there? But however, there's bad fathers. And when you look at crime, who's more animalistic, men or women? Sorry, I'm not going to ever say that it's more women that have done more harm to men or women are more harmful than men. I'm not going to do that because nigga, the statement don't even stand historically. So why? So I'm not. But if we're talking about now, if we're talking about now, I'm not giving nobody a pass. You want to go through all the history and statistics.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said. I put words in your mouth because I thought you was trying to give them a pass and try to overinflate the success that they having while shitting on us in the meantime.
Whether he was or wasn't, it was irrelevant.
I didn't do that.
No. Here's the problem. I got him mixed up with another black dude that's been on TikTok doing this whole man bashing shit. That's
oh my god! But hey, listen, hold on. Hold on. I'm just wait. Time out. Wait, time out. Wait, hold on, no, because I'm gonna be still. Are you talking about my homie public offender?
He better not be, yo. He better not be.
No, I'm just gonna be honest. Are you talking about public?
Me. I'm saying the last dude that said he left to go smoke. That's the guy I was referring to. So he pretty much like confirmed my assumption, which I mean, looking back in hindsight, is incorrect. But anyways.
What?
I said no. If you recall,
you're talking about public, that just proves that you don't listen to anything that he says because he's not man bashing. He's doing the same exact thing that Killmonger does, and he holds y'all accountable, and y'all just can't stand it. The first thing y'all do, I can literally give a statistic that you can go and read yourself verbatim, and you know what you'll say? Why do you hate black men so much? Are you a feminist? Instead of listening to the fact of the matter, that's what y'all do. Just listen. And if you're, hold on. If you're one of those men, you just came up here and said that you are an anomaly pretty much. You're not like them, but you came up here with your damn your knight in shining armor suit on defending those men that you claim you're not like. So why do y'all do that? If you're not them, why can't you at least acknowledge, at the very least, that you know that there's niggas out there like that we're speaking of?
No. See, Jazz, I never gave the black man the pass. The problem is
that doesn't sound like it, though. You don't sound like somebody who's holding men accountable.
You guys are doing the same. See, Jazz, I'm from the hood, so I know the difference between a black dude and a Negro. See,
I'm from the hood too, bro.
The dudes that are taking advantage
Why are you
of
from the
the
hood
black
if your
women
father
are the
works 70
niggas.
hours a week?
What I'm saying is because niggas is the ones who use women as brains.
No, we're not gonna do that. Hold on, KLJ. Listen, we got other people on the panel, brother. We keep spinning around in circles. Just give me a second.
She interrupted me.
Just you never landed.
Niggas are the ones who use women as bait. A real black man. See me, I never asked a woman. A woman never paid for shit.
I'm sorry, what you say? What was that last part?
Jazz was done talking when I said something.
Okay, so hold on.
The difference between the black man and the Negroes, because even though I was in the street, I had a humbling experience, and I actually got my piece of paper and graduated on time, left Milwaukee. But see, the problem is that you guys act like the Negroes are not a minor, or it slightly is becoming, it seems like it's becoming a majority as time goes by. But still, black men, and when I say black men, I'm talking about a stand-up guy. We do not use women as banks. Whenever I take a woman out, I literally pay for everything. I never ask to go 50-50 with a woman. Now, I got a lot of friends that have that 50-50 mindset. But once again, that's a minority, and that's still, and the reason why I brought up the single mother issue.
It's not the fucking minority.
It's not the fucking
minority. It's not the minority. Oh, wait, time out. It's not.
He said he went into the street. He had his father in the home. His dad was a great provider. His mom was
my mom and daddy were ministers. My mom and dad.
Wait, time out. First of all, I'm finna.
That's the reason why I said I
Wait,
made
brother. I'm finna clock. I'm finna clock what you said. I'm finna clock what you said because I gotta address that. See, I'm too kind. Niggas are still black men. So let me say something real quick. We love to do this little separation. Simps, real men don't simp. Niggas, black men. There is no separation when self-hating Negroes, buck broken men online talking. When I see black men online saying black women or this, that, and the third, they don't never say this type of black woman. They say black women. We got niggas, black men online saying black women are the enemy. I find it funny, but when a man calling out a man, I gotta play to y'all feelings. Oh, I'm tying us all in. First of all, I didn't even tie in us together. Nowhere on this live. But you want me to do it, or you want the next man to do it? No, I ain't giving no cop-outs. That's a grown-ass man. Niggas can't even define black men. A lot of men, I ain't gonna even generalize. A lot of men can't even define what manhood is. So when you saying that it's the niggas doing this, the niggas doing that, the niggas are your homeboys. What you say, birds of a feather flock together. So miss me with that nonsense. Is your dad a nigga? I would say, what's up, nigga, to my dad. And my dad will say, what's up, little nigga, to me.
No, my daddy don't even like me saying.
And I still say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, I'm from the hood, bro. I'm from the hood too. That's a word we use. That's a word we use. He's not I'm not calling him a heathen. He's not a heathen. He's married. But man, I'm done talking to you, bro. I'm not generalized. Point blank, period. I'm not generalizing black men. I never did this. This has become a live centered around black men. Nigga, fuck them black men. Okay, I said fuck them black men. I didn't say fuck black men. I said fuck them kind of black men. Okay, I've completely separated. I've played to y'all feelings. I'm tired. God damn it. Some guy 125 speak. Brother, you gotta unmute your mic.
So I got a question.
All right. I ain't got time. Nigga that had more questions than solutions.
Yeah, he never.
What's good? You hear me now?
Yes.
I joined the live, man. I was listening to what you were saying, bro. And you knocked it off the park, man. We as black men do gotta hold ourselves accountable. This shit is our problem. The only reason we got a community, in my opinion, is because of black women. I think about like just everything, like family functions, anything that went on in my neighborhood, it was because of black women. It was done by black women. And we as the men, man, we want to be looked to as leaders, but where we leading these women to? Nowhere, man. I was in the barber shop the other day, and I tried to bring up a serious topic, and people look at you funny, and it's like, man, we can come in here and talk about basketball, football, when it's time to talk about something serious. Y'all don't want nothing to do with it, but you want the women to look to you as leaders? Like, no, man, this shit crazy, man. I'm sorry, it's a little
brother, you fine, bro. You fine.
I'm watching my baby right now. You know what I mean? Like, but we got to stop blaming the women, man. It all comes down to, for many reasons, we look too externally about problems that are internal. There's a number of reasons why we do that, but everybody want to point fingers at the women that want to do that. But what are you doing? Like, what are you doing personally? What are you doing as a man to make your life better? Because if you were that leader and you were that person, then the woman would naturally recognize it in you and let you lead it. But if she ain't letting you lead it, it's because you lacking something. Man. That's all I got to say, bro.
I think the best. I think the best unit for the black family would just be how it's been done before, would be to work together, right? She leads in certain areas, you lead in certain areas, right? That's how it's supposed to be. She's better at doing this, you're better at doing this. Y'all help each other out. It's a fucking teamwork. It's not a freaking benevolent dictatorship, as some people would describe. It's not benevolent. It's not a dictatorship, bro. Okay. Now, if you want the type of woman that literally says you are the head of the household, then get with that type of woman. My wife looks at me as the head of the household, but guess what? She leads where I can't or where I'm not good at. And that's how it should be. People make this shit hard. You should never be in competition with your significant other, because it's y'all working together. It's y'all a team, bro. If you really one flesh, then act like it.
Yeah, I thought it was by any means necessary. That means you got to do whatever you got to do to make the situation work. If you got to go do some damn laundry in your house, do the damn laundry. If she got to get out and mow the lawn. Like if she make more money, then she make more money. But you still got to be providing in other ways. That's how it happened. Like, a little bit about me. I've been married for 16 years. We just celebrated our 16-year wedding anniversary on the 20th.
Congratulations. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, brother. But like, that's just how it is. My wife is smarter than me in a lot of different ways. And I got to just let her do her thing sometimes, man. That's how it works. Well, the shit ain't that hard. To it. Like, it really ain't. Like, we making it harder with this stupid gender war stuff. And it's just like, no, man. Just come in and make it work, man.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the real simps and first of all, let me take accountability. Can you mute your mic real quick, brother?
Yeah.
I come across as a little aggressive sometimes. YouTube, TikTok. I did use a term, bussy popping. That was a slur to a certain community. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I'm still working these things out. No disrespect to them, but I got to apologize for that because I did say that. I get stiff. You will hear me use the term buck broken. It's not going nowhere, because that's how I feel like a lot of men who degrade, bash, and talk bad about their own group of women like that. I'm going to call you that. I don't care. I don't care. I know what the term means, but it don't have to be physically. You can be mentally buck broken, which a lot of people are. So get mad at it. I don't give a damn. I'll call you self-hating. I'll call you a demon because you act like it. And if you're a self-hating Negro, I'll pray for you. But again, to that community, I apologize. I shouldn't say that. It slipped out. Now, what the hell was I? Jazz, you never got. We're gonna go Jazz and then Lady T.
Well, you said a mouthful as always. You beat me to the punch. But hope y'all doing good. I just wanted to say, I agree that Black women in particular, should not be used as banks. I have witnessed it within my own family, and I've learned from those women. Women in generations before me were holding down the house in every way, shape, or form. They were going home. They were going to work, working 12 plus hours a day to make ends meet, while their partner was not pulling their weight, but for the sake of their child growing up in a quote unquote 2-parent home, they suffered in silence. And this individual did this for over 20 years. And I promised myself from listening to her story that I would never be that woman. I'll be damned. I'd rather be struggling by myself than to have somebody that think they're going to hunch on me at the end of the night, sit there and watch me struggle. I'll be damned. So I would encourage women my age or younger, I'm 31, to never do that. You're going to deal with men in our generation that are trying to convince you that if you don't suffer with them, if you don't struggle with them, you're not worthy of love. And I'm here to tell you that's some bullshit. When a man is ready for you, he will show you. You don't have to coach him. You don't have to beg him. You don't have to lecture him. He will do what he's supposed to do because he wants you. He will show you with his actions, not his words. And also, I want to thank the Black men that come on these platforms and that do hold Black men accountable, because we do need more men like you, whether you are a father or not. Your voice, Shannon, you in particular, other men and boys are listening to you. They hear you, even if they don't want to. They're hearing you, and some of them might not want to admit it, but they're listening to what you're saying, and they're thinking about it, and they're wondering, well, how can I get people to listen to me like that? How can I get women to respect me when I speak? How can I have a healthy conversation with a woman and feel like she's open enough to understand the words that's coming out of my mouth, even if she doesn't agree with me? How can I get to that level? And sometimes that's all it takes is just a conversation. So I appreciate you.
No problem. Lady T, I would encourage you to come right back. I just got a violation. So I got to restart. I have no problem bringing y'all back on, but I do got to restart it because they're gonna try to take me out of here. It just happened. I'll be right back. God, these people, bro. Somebody mass reported me, bro. You see how even I take accountability when I'm wrong? I gotta stop saying that though. Like I gotta stop saying that. I don't want to be disrespectful and stuff like that, you know, to that community. But like these niggas be getting on my nerves, but I don't have to say a slur to that type of group of people that do that, you know. So I'm not about to, you know, but that I can't stand. I can't stand. I can't stand it, bro. Extra crisp. Walden White, you wanted to come up last time? I'll bring you back up. And y'all tap the screen, share the live. We back in action. But like in YouTube, I'm finna open up the panel for y'all in a few minutes. No, Tasha, I don't have to delete this live. I'm talking about like it's this TikTok.
Is this the one you restarted?
Yeah, this is the one I restarted.
Okay, cool.
You can start right now. You can y'all tap the screen, share the live, get into it. Let me see if I can bring the same people up. Tam, I know Tam was on here. I'll try to bring back everybody that was up here so they can get their words in. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. Y'all tap the screen, share the live.
Somebody else was speaking, and I don't want to like cut in front of them.
No, you fine. You fine. Lady T was Lady T was speaking, but she not back in here yet, man. Y'all tap the screen. Keep tapping, share the screen. We gonna get it back. We're gonna get it back. But brother, you can go ahead and start speaking. You good, bro?
Okay, cool. Respect to everybody on the panel. Was really listening to it, and I've seen lots of rooms that are really, slighted to one side or the other. And I think that people try to uphold things that they know are not true. And I can say this about Black men, right? Mm-hmm. Like Black men should be raising Black men. So my grandfather, my uncles, they taught me how to cook, right? Mm-hmm. Hunt, all kinds of stuff, right? So that I would be able to create a household that a woman would want to become a part of, right? So right now you got a whole bunch of people talking about I'm a king, I'm righteous, and you got to fall under my rule. But what are you ruling? Do you have a home? Do you have a homestead? Do you have a house? Do you have a car? Do you have all these things that are basics, right? And then are you able to provide for a woman to say, join my household? I have a car for you. I'm going to pay off your debts. It used to be when you married a woman, you gave her family a dowry, just for marrying her. You gave her money. You gave her family money to take care of themselves and to take care of anything she had outstanding before she even entered your household. And nowadays, men are not even upholding that standard. And you're not even teaching your sons how to even be productive. You talking about coming home and not demand a plate. You should know how to cook. You should know that if your woman's spending 16 hours with the children, you should be able to come home, cook, clean, do everything that she can do to lighten her load. Yeah, she want to treat you like a king when you treat her like a queen, and we're not doing that. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, we make too many excuses for it, and we're not holding each other accountable, right? I can hold you accountable in sports. Oh, you missed a shot. Oh, you didn't score the touchdown. Mm-hmm. But we can't hold each other accountable for real life. Like, really, what are you doing with your children?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I think you say we're not going to, and you're right. And we have the potential to. We actually have the ability to hold men accountable. And women be trying to hold women accountable too. But men don't listen to women. On a day-to-day basis, on anything, men ain't really trying to hear what the hell a woman gotta say, whether she right, wrong. And it's just sad because oftentimes what I've found is that the woman actually a lot of times in certain situations be right. I mean, they'll bring up studies, they'll bring up statistics, they'll talk about firsthand experiences and advocate for other women that's went through the exact same thing to bring these stories to light. But when men hear them, it's just like, oh no, it's BS. You know, not men in general, but a lot of men. Actually, you know what? Men in general. We just disregard what a woman got to say because it's like she should just shut the heck up and be quiet. And which is sad. Because if it's the only way it seems to really affect us as men is to when you make it personal. Like you say, okay, how would you feel if your daughter? You always have to make it personal for them to understand. Well, what if it was your daughter? You know, what if it was your wife? Well, then that would be. It's like, nah, bro. But we definitely have the ability to hold each other accountable. But you know, certain people are gonna listen, certain people are not. But on a mass case, we have that ability. We have that ability. But as far as the women, I hate to say this, but I mean, women know it. They can't check a man because we won't allow a woman to check us, which is stupid. And I don't mean checking a disrespectful manner, like get aggressive or anything, but like just bring bring awareness to our actions or call us out for what we're doing. Men ain't trying to hear that from no woman. Hold on, wait a minute. We handicapped our women when we treat them like children and don't hold them accountable. So you know, we got this guy named Pat Me Bro, right? He comes in, he's a troll. He says these little things in the comments to try to come up and say something stupid because it's a whole bunch of stupid stuff that comes out of his mouth. Anyway, y'all tap the screen, share the live. We're gonna try to get it back. We're gonna try to get it back. But Miss Tam.
Hey, how y'all doing?
How you doing?
I really had requested to take a bite out of old buddy that was up here, but you chewed him up pretty well, so I'm good there. I just wanted to expound on what Walden said and what you said. Oh, there's my friend. Hey, Crispy. But I just wanted to expound upon that because he mentioned in his explanation that, oh, yeah, a lot of my friends are essentially not good fathers, absent fathers. They rely on their woman as a bank. Now, I was curious. I wanted to ask him, do you hold them accountable? Do you say something to them? Do you have that conversation with them? Because much like racism, it is not Black people's responsibility to teach. It is actually men's responsibility to teach other men, like Walden said. So I wanted to clock that piece too.
Mm-hmm.
And then another reason why I think a lot of men have fallen into, like you were saying earlier, the majority have fallen into this comfortability of looking to their women as the bank is because they see the writing on the wall. We know Black women are the most educated group in the country, and they see that happening. And I feel like they've kind of used it as an excuse for them to lay off the gas and just kind of coast. And because they are coasting, they feel like at this point, I can go ahead and ask her, but they wouldn't dare tell her she holds the power. They wouldn't dare tell her that she's the one that's actually succeeding. They wouldn't dare fix their mouth to say any of that or acknowledge it, but they want to benefit from it. In a sense, they just want to be the bad bitches. I'm sorry, I cursed.
No, you're fine. I just started laughing. I just started laughing. That's funny.
But it's true. It's true. He called those women degenerate, right?
Uh-huh.
Rihanna was a terrible woman for how she got her money. What do you mean, music and makeup? Sir, be real. We're not being serious because you didn't have that same energy for Master P. You don't have that same energy for any of them. But for whatever reason, her rise to millionaire was awful. Mm-hmm. We're not being serious.
Yeah, that's why I got mad. I'm like, bro, y'all don't have the same smoke towards the men. And when I ask who started every time, they just go into complete malfunction. If I say women are responding to the actions of men, it's a response. Okay. That's all it is. Like when they talk about freaking women using men for money. Well, you were using women for box.
Hello.
So they're just switching up the game now. Like it's a response that everything is coming back full circle. So it's just like I don't. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about that?
Charging for coochie. It's project. What we say, Crispy? It's project No Coochie 2025.
We put tariffs on everybody.
Yeah. So they're just mad that the price is not today's price is not yesterday's price. And speaking of price, that boy. Oh, I wanted to call him something else. That took a lot out of me. But anyway, that gentleman earlier was talking about women don't work over 40 hours a week or anything like that. Oh, please. I just logged out of work, and when I logged into your live, I work well over 60 hours a week, and I'm salary, and I make well over 60K. That boy was just upset because his salary is barely breaking 35K per year. Please, we're not being serious. But I see Lady T just came up, so I'll let her go ahead and speak.
Richard Baker says women use men for money and offer nothing in return that men
You
want.
shut up, Richard.
So,
you shut your mouth now, Richard.
I mean, that's funny because they give you niggas kids. They give you time. Sometimes they even come in with a financial backing to help fund your business in the dating phase. So if we're going to sit here and act like women don't give men anything, you are and then give you sex. Miss me with this, not. And then they give you their body as well. What are you talking about? What do you like? Literally, I hope 4B comes to I'm about to say 4B comes to Houston. Like this, the only goddamn city in America. But
Seriously.
I hope 4B comes to America. Like
Project No 2020, no Coochie, no 2025. Coochie terror.
What's up, CK? How you doing,
it's
man?
A movement.
How you doing, CK? I hate seeing comments like that. I'm not gonna ever be unbalanced to the extent that I can be, but then you niggas always play in the man Olympic. We did not center black men here. I did not cap on black men here. I'm not going to cap on black men here. I'm talking about what some men say. Some men think. And the fact that a lot of men are only successful because a woman financially backed him up. Point blank, period. Goodness gracious. You niggas get mad at the prompts. And then I'm telling, well, women should already know this. A lot of women already do. I'm telling women, I'm really telling y'all dudes to not do this, but I'm telling women they know they shouldn't be financially investing in a man they're dating. That's stupid. That's stupid. $500, $600 a month, $700 for a plant. Why is it? I'm gonna keep saying this. Why is it that we always have a vision? We always have a dream. We always have a goal, and we cannot accomplish that without being tied to a woman. If we calling ourselves masculine, I'm trying to really understand that shit. Why? That's a problem. That's a lot of men. Oh, I need a helpmate. What the fuck you need a helpmate for? And then if you're not married, why are you calling this woman a helpmate? Nigga, stand on your own 2 feet and make shit happen. If you want an investment, go to the bank. Go to another black man who's successful to tell him to invest in your business plan. Helpmate is for marriage because it's y'all together. Not no dating phase. Dating. Nigga, please. Lady T, you wanted to say something?
I did. I feel like there's a lot of weaponized incompetence that is happening when it comes to this topic. Because when it's really boiled down, it really just comes down to something very simple. We are not supposed to be invested in someone who is unsure about us. And a lot of times women are met with a lot of confrontation when we are asserting ourselves and saying like, hey, I don't feel comfortable taking this step with you because we're not at a space where I feel like that would be mutually beneficial. Now we're gold diggers. We only interested in money. We're all these things. But when we're on our own, we're able to find the money for our businesses. We're able to find the funding. We're able to figure out how to do childcare and work and make sure our kids are taken care of. We're able to assert ourselves and discipline ourselves in a way that allows us to make sacrifices and also make progress. And men have a tendency to feel entitled to a certain level of access to women that they have grown accustomed to using to, forward their agendas. It's not always okay. It's not always like practical or even moral, but we know that men will consciously benefit off of the silent labor.
I didn't do that.
They play crazy, like they don't know how they got to where they got to. And honestly, it's just to the point where we got to stop indulging in the fantasy of the weaponized incompetence of acting like they don't know how they got to where they are. Because a lot of them were raised by single mothers who they watched do it on their own. A lot of them were in churches or in communities that were fostered by Black women. A lot of them have experienced Black girl magic firsthand, and then they want to act like they don't know where it comes from, and now they wonder why we're taking our investment back. it's not hard to understand that after generations of blind labor from Black women that have not yielded any real benefits to us, other than more men that don't appreciate us, that we're taking a step back. It should not surprise anyone.
I think it's what's going on, bro. I think it's.
What's up? Hold on, CK. Hold on, CK. Actually, extra. Can you do me a favor? Let extra speak.
It's okay. You can go. You can go.
Well, CK, you go ahead, and then we're gonna get extra crispy to speak up.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to be that dude.
Oh no, you're fine, bro.
Yeah, I know. I agree with her. I think it's just like this. There's so much mixed messaging, right? Like there is that truth that she's saying, right? But then these young men or older men, whatever, are getting mixed signals because then they're met with individuals saying that 50-50 is a roommate, right? I'm not going to pay any bills, right? If I have to pay any bills in my home, this is a roommate situation. A man is supposed to be a provider, right? So like, I think the crosshairs is the fact that there are segments of individuals that feel the way you do, which is I do as well. But then they're hearing messaging on the other side of women that they may be interested in, or in general social media, whatever, saying, hey, even though I may have a college degree and a career, when I decide to start having these children, I'm not going to work. So I need a man going to provide everything for me financially, that needs to be taken care of, my lifestyle, things of that nature. So like it can get a little dicey because you're one side's preaching independence and I don't want you to lean on me, but then the other side is literally saying, I want you to provide the lifestyle that I cannot provide for myself, and then attaching someone's masculinity and their ability to be a man based on that. So I think that's where it gets a little bit dicey.
So let me ask you a question, and I think that was a very balanced approach, but he always has a balanced approach. That's the homie. Now with him, with you, brother, I just got to quit. You think the average Black woman knows she has to work with besides internet talk, right? Besides internet talk, just speaking on average, do you think the Black woman already has an understanding that with the Black man she's going to have to work with?
Oh, brother, like majority, the only conversations I have ever had about a 50-50, about a providership, has only in 41 years happened in 2023. People in the real world do not have these fucking conversations at all. They are not looking for providers. They are not saying I'm not going to help my partner in building whatever it is. They do not have these conversations. I think a lot of the times people have these conversations from like a drone view. Like there's nobody around them that they really like, right? There's nobody that they're in a relationship with, nobody that they really care about. None of that. Majority of the time, the people are talking about like hypothetical, like if I was to get in a relationship with someone, this is what I would be willing to do and not willing to do. When it comes down to one basic thing, find somebody that you like, that you really care about, and that is reciprocating your energy and caring for you and wanting to be there and support you. That is literally how majority of people overwhelmingly that are not on the internet all the time, in terms of getting their advice from the internet, are operating in real life. 72% of Americans are a two-parent income home. 72%. I went to FAMU. My frat brothers went to FAMU. We get together, all the alumni of FAMU. Majority, 90% of these women that went to colleges are working. And they are doing amazing in their craft. And these men are working and they're doing amazing in whatever industry that they are in. They're not having these conversations because it's not conducive to reality and how people are walking around. They're literally just trying to create environments so that their kids and them are thriving and just doing the best that they can. But we always have this conversation from individuals, and this is not anybody specific, from individuals who are barely surviving. So they can't even think about thriving because they cannot create their own stability in themselves to thrive. So they need somebody else to do it for them. And I'm you.
Okay. Ms. Extra Chris.
A word. What's going on, everybody? Thank you, Killmonger, for letting me come up. Shout out to all the panel members. Y'all please continue to like and share his live so we can get back to what time we was on a few minutes ago. That being said, also shout out to the Rattlers. My godmother and both my godbrothers went there, one of my favorite HBCUs. Hell yeah. So let me first address the first thing that I observed when I got in the room, and what I observe across multiple lives and also the lives that myself and Tam host. And it's not just the men, but I am going to address the men since those are the ones that was talking the loudest when I first got in here.
Some of y'all are really struggling with reading comprehension, and it shows. The prompt on the back of the screen says Black women are not a bank, and then there's a question that is posed, and then there's another concept that is posed. Y'all keep coming into people's spaces, not only Killmongers, but ours as well, and trying to deflect and move the conversation and use a lazy Susan method to switch up the conversation. If you cannot stay on task, if you cannot remain focused, for all my Dr. Umar fans out there, we must stay focused. If you cannot stay focused, you don't need to get up here and have no type of conversation. And I don't care if you're an op and if you don't agree with what the man is saying, but if you cannot stay focused on the subject matter that is in front of you, that's the real problem you need to actually be taking up with yourself. To CK's point, you can't stabilize your own mental health, your own household, your own spiritual health, etc. But you're trying to come up here and have big girl and big boy conversations when you still wear a size 2. You in 2T size clothes, mentally and emotionally and spiritually, and you're trying to have certain types of conversations, whether it's here on this app or inside of real life. And I know you're not talking to intellectual people or people that are mentally stimulating outside of this app, because a lot of y'all are chronically on this app having the same circular conversations. That being said, let's talk about the prompt. Black women are not a bank. The reality is Black women have been the bank of the Black community for well over 100 years, or at least since we got off of the plantation. Why? Because we spent so much time in quote unquote master's house picking up information, entrepreneurship related information, figuring out how they run their businesses, seeing how they treat their wives and their children and how the wives treat us, and then carrying that information back to Black men, trying to educate them on how these people operate, how they govern themselves, and to stay away from them. Right? So we have been the bank. We have been the emotional bank. We've been the spiritual bank. We've been the financial bank. We've been the psychological bank and all the other banks in the Black community for some time. Also, Black women have never been afforded the opportunity to be, quote unquote, what is the idea of Western feminism. We have never been able to be consistently stay-at-home mothers and kept women in this country, because that's just not how this country has operated. So even having this conversation around 50-50, we've always been 50-50. We've always been an egalitarian community. So ain't shit changed, at least in the real world. I know very few Black women outside of some that are a part of the Black petite bourgeoisie, and even then there's still labor associated with that actually get to sit at home and mind their fucking business and go to Pilates and have white wine in the middle of the day. Very few of us get that type of lifestyle. So the fact that we're constantly being accosted and chastised for even asking for some level of egalitarianism is crazy to me, because most of us don't get to experience being a stay-at-home wife or Pilates wife or whatever. To the statement, men can't stand on their own 2 feet without a woman. Let us be real, and I'm not saying this to be mean, but you know good and well, many of the men in our community have slept on one of our couches and got $20 to hold them over till next week at some point, whether we was in college or in regular adult life. Anytime that one of y'all want to start a business, we end up being your accountants, your first accountant, your first tax professional, the first marketer in your company, the first person to buy some shit from you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, please stop playing in our faces. We have been the bank in the community. And now that many of us, especially those of us that are college educated or at least entrepreneurs, and we've been outside, we are now tired of giving away, to I think it was Lady T's point, giving up free labor. You're going to have to figure this out on your own. And if you're not going to, you'll take our energy, you'll take the cat, you'll take the money, you'll take the PS5 that you asked for last Christmas, but you won't take the critique of me saying, I need you to step up collectively and individually. You start pissing on the back of our heads, telling us it's raining every time we try to hold y'all accountable. And now that a lot of Black women are pulling back our energy and saying, we're not teaching y'all anymore, you don't listen to us in the first place, y'all gonna have to go find some other men to talk to. Because in my lived experience, men only do listen to men. That is in fact accurate, and that's across ethnicities. That's not just Black men. Men do not listen to women for numerous reasons that we don't have to get into here. So yeah, of course we're pulling back our energy. Now, I come from a Nigerian family. We don't play the radio like that. If a man is not doing what he's supposed to do, you get ran about the village. So we don't play the radio about that. And it's funny to me, even when we have those passport bro conversations, y'all go to these other countries talking about you want to get a fine, fit, submissive, whatever wife. You do know she's gonna run your pockets, right? Because that's a part of their culture. So you're running away from a problem that could be solved just to create more problems for yourself that you can't solve because you don't have the money to do it in the first place. And lastly, women should not financially invest in men they are dating. That is absolutely accurate. Why are you putting that type of labor into somebody who has not committed to you? Has shown no commitment, no consistency. Going on dates is basically hanging out with friends. There's no commitment there. And at the end of the day, we end up having to take the brunt of any negative investments, because if I choose the wrong man and have children with the wrong man and marry the wrong man, I can destroy my entire life. Meanwhile, oftentimes men, regardless of ethnicity, you can pick up and leave. So, and we have historical data and stats that can support all of that. And if that's what you need in order to know that it's true, well, then I suggest that you go take a course in statistics and then go find that information for yourself. Stop asking Black women to pull up the information for you when you are more than capable, because you got the brain enough to figure out the keywords to your favorite porn site and what you want to watch tonight to get yourself off. You got enough energy to figure out how to get the new version of NBA 2K. You got enough energy to eat your baby snacks up every day. So why you don't have the energy to go figure out the stats that are required to have these types of conversations? What's going on? The math is not mathing. 1 + 1 is starting to equal 5. I'm quite confused. So I'm not trying to necessarily cook y'all. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and I'll be quiet for a while. If you are not willing to do the work, you need to stop running your mouth. Run your mind and stop running your mouth. You're not contributing to other Black men or to yourself by running your mouth so much. The lack of solutions-oriented thinking that is going on, not only here on TikTok, but also in real life, is crazy to me. And y'all want to shit on Black women for being quote-unquote independent and making too much money and having too many high standards, but also will then turn around and talk about how single mothers are the bastion of all the terrible things in the community. Well, what do you want us to do? You want us to sit here and wait for y'all to figure it out? You want us to sit here and wait while you figure out how to go to therapy and get spiritually edified or whatever? What do you want us to wait for? These kids are still here. These kids still got to be raised, and that's Black boys and girls. And nobody is saying or talking crazy about the Black men who are doing well. If it don't apply, let it fly. And if you're triggered by it, baby, you might need to have a conversation. And that last boy, why are you hanging around men that are unaccountable? Why are you hanging around men who are poor fathers? Why are you hanging around men who are not contributing positively to their community? Is it to assert some type of weird stuff about your ego? You want to feel good because you're the only one that's doing what you're supposed to do? You're not special, nigga. So that being said, do your part. I don't care whether it's on this app or off this app. Worried about and taken care of, but you want to have somebody to affirm your ego and make you feel better about being an anomaly. You should not be an anomaly. 100% of Black men should be able to say to themselves, we care for the women and our entire community and the children in our community. We're proud to do it, and we will lay our life on the line to make sure that our community is well taken care of. Y'all are being combative with us when in fact you need to be worried about the fact that we're about to be in a post-Trumpian era, and y'all about to fuck around and find out what it really feel like to be in chattel slavery. That being said, I land.
One thing, mods, I have given you power, and I see somebody in my comments on TikTok talking about women don't care about their life being destroyed, and he keeps saying a whole bunch of degrading stuff. Get his ass out of here, or put him on mute for 5 minutes. Because he acting like a little boy, but he hasn't sent a request to come up here and talk about it. And again, I don't understand how shots are being thrown at the woman. I didn't hear any crazy thing that came out of Extra Crispy mouth. She gave examples. I don't know what the hell you're mad at. Some of y'all are talking about Pookies and Ray Rays. How the fuck are we talking about Pookies and Ray Ray?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I was about to go read him.
It's not just the Pookies and Ray Rays that's the problem. I was married to a college-educated man of Omega Psi Phi, and he still tried to whoop my tail and drag me through the mud. It's not just the hood niggas that's out here doing wild shit.
Exactly.
I need to stop that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I love when they say that because they completely ignore those men, just like you said, the ones that are educated. Those are the dangerous ones. The ones that's educated, that got the money to make your life a living hell, that got the money to raise lawyers and hold children over your head and financially abuse you. Those are the dangerous ones. The old goofy Pookie and Ray Rays can't do shit but impregnate you and embarrass you. But the ones that's smart and evil, those are the worst ones. And I'm unfortunately somebody who have experienced that, so I know.
Let me ask a question.
Can we talk about the pick-me's as well? Because you got some pick-me's in your comments too. Those are also very dangerous. To CK's point, there's a mixed message, and they're enabling the behavior.
There's a what? Y'all be calling. That was actually I did not mean to press that button. But CK. So is there any tension that needs to be resolved out? It's like a extra crispy and CK. Would y'all like to have a moment of dialogue to maybe resolve some?
Oh, did I say something wrong to CK?
Attention.
Or maybe I misheard.
No, I don't have no tension with CK.
No, I said that.
I thought no, because somebody was like clock CK. Somebody had to tell, and I'm like, wait, she said
CK
something.
didn't say nothing out of pocket.
Yeah.
No, okay. I was like,
but to Taylor's point, it do be listen, and this is part of the reason why I stopped talking to black men on my platform. I talk specifically to black women, and I tell black women all the time: if you are on that pick me stuff, you on that nonsense, you're just as dangerous as the men that you claim are causing problems in your community, because you will sacrifice your self governance, your pride, your cat, your money, just to get the attention of a man. And that's contributing to the problem. Stop giving men that are not worthy of your energy and your time.
what? Let me ask a question. You know,
Don't you say y'all can't even define pick me, please?
that's
you. It's totally you. For you to even say that shit, I know it's you.
She literally made a statement saying that this was she said this was a trauma dumping session. It's not a trauma dumping session. There is a prompt on the back of the screen, and if you read it and think and listen from a contextual standpoint, you'll know what the conversation is.
Now I got what you know what I'm saying, you know, just for the lack of, I know what a pick me is, and I know the certain type of women that they refer to as pick me's, but what exactly makes her a pick me, right? Like if she talking, what is she talking about that puts her in the pick me category?
It's the enabling of the behavior. So much like she will probably have brothers, sisters, or she knows men, just like the young man that was up here earlier, that are trash. It will enable that trash. She spews out the same rhetoric as women are at fault, women are the problem. 9 times out of 10, she's the one sliding into that man's DM, trying to make him feel better, glazing him up. That's a pick-me. A pick-me is dangerous to women because they will probably also enable SH. They will probably always blame the woman. They're probably that woman in your family that will tell you to cover up when Uncle Tommy coming over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, instead of getting rid of Uncle Tom.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Because they be calling certain women pick-me's, but when it's women handling women, like talking amongst women, I don't go in those spaces. I don't need to be there because it's women discussing women's problems. But they'll be like, "You're a pick-me," and I'll be like, "She's talking about something," but I don't stay for the lie to understand what makes her a pick-me, because I just let, you know, when it comes to women's business and women handling women, I stay out of it. That ain't got that. I don't go into those lives, try to come up, center myself. Nothing. I just leave. When I'm scrolling, I'm not even gonna get that. Don't got nothing to do with me. When I see a prompt that says decenter men, why the fuck would I go up and center myself? You know what I'm saying? Like what you say? Hold on. I couldn't hear. What'd you say, CK?
I'm saying I do have an Uncle Tommy. He's a good guy. He just don't have any shins.
Not shins. You wild.
Straight from knee to top of to the ball of the foot. So
it's a different Uncle Tommy. If we're being honest, the pick-me's are the reason why the game is in the state it's in the first place. Talk about it. The standards are on the floor. The pick-me's are the reason why men are getting away with not being held accountable. They're the reason that they believe that they're right, because there's always a woman to validate a man's ego once another woman tries to correct him. And it's always someone who feels like she's taking something from that woman who asserted herself, when the only problem that pick-me's really have is that those lack of boundaries end up being the reasons why they don't get picked.
All right, hold on. Saint, my guy, would you like to come? Saint, my G, I'm gonna say this one time, then I'm gonna block you. Would you like to come up? Because one, you ugly. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any type of sex appeal. And then you're coming in here blaming, saying that they not gonna stop picking the black man, bro. There's already a certain amount of women that's not fucking with black men, which I don't want to continue to happen. I'm married, don't affect me, but you know, still, I don't want to see a mass divesting. But you're saying stupid stuff in the comments, and you won't come up and say anything. I can bring you up. I promise. I can. We can have a balanced conversation, but you're saying dumb stuff. So if you would like to come up, put a request, and I'll bring you up. Oh, Walden, would you like to say something, brother?
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna ride with extra crispy on this one, right? And here's how it goes. The fact is, I'm not even gonna blame pygmies. I'm gonna blame dudes. Like you know when a dude is acting weird, right? I had a partner. He was like, "Yo, so you know, I don't know if my girl cheating. I put an air, one of those little air tags in her car, and woo woo dog. What you think about that?" I'm like, I think you weird, and we shouldn't be fucking friends no more. Because I got a daughter who's in law school, and I'd be damned if somebody did the same thing to her. We don't hold men accountable for their weird shit, even if they are friends. You gotta cut dudes off. Like that's not even acceptable. Like literally, it starts with men calling men. That's how it used to be. And then when you talk about accountability used to be like, listen, if you don't have your shit together, you can't get married. Back in the day, it was like, you got to have a job. You got to have this. You have a dowry you have to pay. You have to pay her family. And I spoke on that before. You have to have something to assure that, hey, I'm taking her from your family and bringing her into my family. She's going to be well taken care of. Of course, it should be without question that a Black woman should be able to raise her children in her house and teach them. A Black woman is the head of household. That whole term, head of household, you protect, right? You the dog outside, you protect, just like a lion. It's like, oh, the male lion doesn't do no. The male lion protects the territory, so no enemies come in. But who does the hunting? The female lion. Who feeds the children? Who raises them up until they get to a certain age? And then they go into the domestication of the male. That's the whole point. We stopped doing that. And what you're talking about baby boys.
Man, I had a
We're talking about a whole bunch of baby boys, like that movie Baby Boy.
Yeah,
There's a lot of dudes. You if you riding off the wave of your wife, or not your wife, your girlfriend, and you asking for an investment, dude, that's a red flag.
So I gotta disagree with you at one point there, brother. Like I do think the societal dynamics have changed within the household. I think both men and women, the father and the mother, should be integral in the raising of the children, right? Because we've seen within the last maybe 5-10 years, women getting fed up. There's like, yeah, you protecting, right? But only 3% of people actually come in, 3% of houses actually get a home invasion. Like, what are you protecting me against for the most part? But you're using that as your additive to the relationship while I'm doing all the heavy lifting. You know what I mean? So
no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm just saying that it's the head of the household. I get what you're saying with that, but I'm just using my perspective, right? In my situation, like me and my wife, we absolutely both try to make it as equitable as possible in the maintaining of the home and the raising of the children. Now, she definitely catches some things that I don't catch, and that's because there's going to be a ebb and flow, right? She's going to catch things I don't catch and vice versa. But I think working for that equality is what helps, because they be burnt out of shit, bro. Like, and then we're just hey,
I know, bro. Listen, my grandfather worked 3 jobs. He knew he was not as financially responsible as my grandmother. You know what he did? Every time he got paid, he was like, put the money in the account. Go ahead and take care of it.
That's me.
My grandmother took care of our
That's
household.
me, by the way.
She, I'm just saying, she bought the groceries. She made sure the bills was paid. And then she gave him the county, and then she gave him an allowance. Like, here you go. Go ahead and, get your little, little moonshine, whatever you need to do, a little couple beers.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I gave him his budget. But what I'm saying to you is that women have traditionally been the head of household. Men go out and they provide. That's all I'm saying to you.
I agree.
Yeah, we have been lacking in so many ways. But I'm just glad to hear somebody like Extra Crispy actually laid it on. I see so many sorry dudes, dog. I'd be like, yo, are you serious? Are you going for this? Are you crazy? Like, how are you even going to raise your mouth up? And you ain't. The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. So for real, you asking a woman for something, dog, that's just an anathema to me.
No,
I would. I got one question, CK. Well, it's to the men. The women can chime in too, but specifically to y'all, because this is what I don't understand, and this is why I get put in the panderer conversation. We know our associate CK, right? And I'm not talking bad about him, you know what I'm saying? But Saw and Lower have used this. I haven't heard this example from Omega. I have, and I haven't heard this example, but to the brothers, they give this example right here. Hey, why would I talk to the? I've heard them say specifically, men can't hold a grown man accountable. So what we need to do is we need to talk to the women to leave those type of men alone. And I'm like, I get if you were given a warning, like, hey, it's some thugs and some criminals over there. Here's the problem though. I'm a realist. I understand who puts on a mask. I understand the faking of being a good guy. And then my true colors showing. So why the fuck would I ever go directly to the, why wouldn't I go to the problem, guide him, stop him, police him if I have to, instead of just going to the damn woman and talking that don't make sense. It makes sense a little bit, but it don't make sense. Because it's like we men. We supposed to
in the social media world, right? In the social media world, I think I understand what you're saying. I was saying kind of like the context of in the social media world, you literally can't hold anybody accountable. Like you can just scroll up and people could be yelling at you. You scroll up and you in a whole different world. Like no one social media can hold you accountable, because to be able to hold someone accountable, they have to trust you, right? They have to trust that what you're saying is something that they feel is beneficial to them, and that they trust that what you're saying is in their best interest. That's why you're able to hold people accountable that that are close to you, that are friends, that respect you, right? You're able to hold them accountable because you'll be like, hey, you fucking up, you doing this. They'd be like, all right, CK, you got it. I'll think about it. Outside of that, if I was to walk up to the grocery store and be like, hey, man, you need to take care of your kids. Now I might have, he's just like, all right, cool, that's what's up, bro. And he go push his cart down the road. You know what I mean? So it's just like being able to have that influence on individuals to make that change. Now, I don't get their point about like going and talk to the women. I don't know how that works in the social media thing, because even if you talk to them, like they can do the same thing. You know what I mean? But if it comes to your relationship and you know this woman, whatever it is, I don't know if they're talking about that. I think hopefully, I don't know if they're talking about talking to the men and people that they know, but
he said it directly to me when I brought him on. And again, I'm showing him respect. I'm not talking bad about it. We disagree on a lot of things, but there's a connection there that I'm not trying to squander or crush, because I'm hoping he comes around and understands I think he does, but we'll see what the future holds, right? But what I'm saying is he has used that before to make a point across. He was and he basically looked at it like, would I go to the bank or would I go? And I'm like, now I get what he was doing, because they love to make these analogies, right? Why would I go to the bank who's giving out the loan, or would I go to the people who's giving out who's trying to get the loan? I said literally you would go to the bank, right? If there's a giving out money problem, would that exactly checkmate? Because that's what we doing. We going to the women. Nigga, accountability don't exist on the internet. Like what are we talking? True accountability does not exist on the internet unless you started like a mentor group and you got a collective group of people in that mentor group or whatever website y'all using, and you're mentoring them and you're giving them advice. True accountability does not exist online. You're just having a conversation. I get the term accountability. We need to hold each other accountable, but how does that looking in real life? And how many women have you met online or under your wing and taking your advice? Or how many men are under your? I understand why they get mad. I'm just a firm believer in men talk to men, women talk to women. When we figure this shit out on our end, we come together and then we talk about what the fuck going on. Like that's how I believe it should be done. When it's an open panel like this, you're going to get different opinions. I get it. But for the most part, I think men should be talking to men, women should be talking to women, and then we come together and figure that shit out. But if we got problems on both our ends, I believe it's more problem. That's my perspective. You don't have to believe it.
Well, that makes sense.
I think it's more problems on the men's side.
Real quick, Monger. Here's where things get messed up in the game. a lot of people come on the internet living in a space of idealism as it relates to their own perspective and opinion. That's how they want the world to look, or they want their world to look. What oftentimes happens that I observe, especially being a live creator and being on this app, is that a lot of us go out into the world and want to try to get people to bend to our will, whether it's intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, financially, etc., versus seeking out people who are at your level, and then want to turn around and try to blame folks, whether it's on the internet or in regular life, about the fact that you have not taken the time to do any type of real self-reflection or introspection about your values, your character, your desires, your capacity, and your willingness to show up in the way that is needed for you to get the type of partnership or the type of community that you need to govern yourself in whatever way it is. And so it's the same kind of thing. To say that that men have to go to women or talk to women and make them more accountable in order for men to be more accountable, sweetheart, if you can't hold your own gender, your own community accountable, you're a part of the problem. You also are afraid of men just like we are oftentimes. You are caught up in getting validated or getting yeah bro sessions going so that you can feel good about not having to be responsible for how you govern yourself, not only with women, but in your overall community. So it's like, you being weird. You keep trying to skirt responsibility and not taking any type of accountability about how you're operating in your space. Like we talked about the young man later. He openly admitted that I allow men who don't take care of their business to hang around me. That doesn't make sense. You are part of the problem. You are the piss in the pool. So, like I said, if women are, whether it's here on the internet or in real life, to CK's point, if women are backing up and taking their hands off the wheel, it's not our responsibility to make y'all behave any type of way. Now, what I do tell women to do is don't be goofy out here. Don't be giving second chances to people who have made it clear that they're not committed to you or not going to do any type of real investment in you, or don't have whatever it is that you need for them to have to exist in your space. But we're not gonna be obtuse out here. It is absolutely crazy to say that in order for men to collectively start behaving a particular way, that women have to then do something. Here's the reality. For all the women that quote unquote will use TikTok or whatever internet language, for all the women that have quote unquote let a Pookie or a Ray Ray get them pregnant, more than likely there was a mask that was up. Respectfully, a lot of men lie for coochie.
Who they all lie for it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say all.
Well, they
But
do
a lot of
it
men
young,
lie for
or they do
coochie.
it was old. They do it.
So, and I'm not saying that women should not be responsible about who they give their bodies to. Nobody is saying that. But also, if someone is telling you that the sky is blue, and they keep handing you glasses that make the sky look blue, and then rip them off later, like what do you want? If you are not going to be honest, if you are not going to have integrity, if you are not going to be accountable, you too are a part of the problem. You can't always blame the person that you was playing with for the behaviors that you govern. I oftentimes hear this conversation about, single moms, blah, blah, blah. Y'all should hold yourselves accountable. You should pick better men. Men, y'all are also sacred. Where you put your meat at is also an important thing to consider spiritually. If you are planting your seed in a garden that is not good for the growth of your seed, that's it's partly your fault, baby.
So, Crispy, I actually had this conversation yesterday on a different panel of why men lie for coochie. Because a man tried to convince me that that's not true. But I'm gonna say this because it does tie into everything. Okay, so I see Shane in face.
No, I'm saying no because like nigga, who hasn't lied? Who has not lied?
But why is the reason why it made sense to me as I got older. Men lie for coochie because they contradict themselves, right? Because they say, oh, cute coochie everywhere. I can get it. I don't gotta pay for it because it's everywhere. It's free. Okay, we know it's free. We know that you can go around the corner to the 7-Eleven in the back alleyway and have some chick throw her legs wide open for $5. We already know. It's easy for you to get when it comes to a certain caliber of women, right? But y'all lie for coochie to the caliber of women that you want, to the caliber of women that you know wants a relationship, is more than likely loyal, that has a substance that you're looking for, but you don't want to give her the commitment that she wants. So you paint this picture that you are the man that she's looking for, and that you are a man that's worthy of commitment and that's ready to take her on. So you got to lie to get it. knowing that you're not ready for this woman, knowing that you're not ready to take her seriously, but you know that this is the kind of woman that you'd rather stick your peen in, so you gotta lie to have access to her. So yeah, that's why they don't tell the truth. Because if they told the truth, they would still get access to specs, but they damn sure wouldn't be with the kind of women that they want. It's gonna be with them chicks that's down with the get down at any time we put. And guess what? They're gonna pay for it tenfold for a chick that's gonna be giving it to somebody else and treating them how they treat the women. They don't want to make a match when it comes to the specs game. So that's why they
say.
Who talking?
If I could say,
who is talking? Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Moses.
All right.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to come up. If I could say, I mean, I really hate the generalizations. You know, let's keep it 100. You know, not every man lies to get a woman. A lot of men, I mean, you have some men that don't even have to ask for none.
I literally said
and the women are just willing.
She didn't
and the
say
women
all
are just
men.
willing to,
Yeah,
just a minute.
She didn't say all men. Comprehension is key.
Listen, well, then if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it.
But
you can't come up. Wait, time out.
Listen, I was in the comments and a woman made the statement that all men lie. So I'm speaking to her. If you didn't say it, then it
I'm
affects
gonna
you.
clarify what I said.
Wait.
I
Time out.
said-
Wait, hold on. Wait. All men have lied.
I mean, I've lied.
Yeah, like I'm saying, they got to lie when they were young. They got to lie.
No. Moses. Hold on. Wait. Time out. I'm gonna let you finish your point. I promise. I won't interrupt you no more. We're gonna let you finish your point, but you can't come up here and say the generalizations, right, brother? Because you're older, and I'm looking at the gray in your beard, and I love to respect my elders. I love to respect the older man. I love to give an older man respect, especially if you have wisdom. That's the type of man that I am. I'll submit to an older man when he's talking. I will shut my mouth until you say something stupid. But you can't come up here, brother, and say that she said, or you know, the generalizations, and then he left. He fucking left. He left.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That nigga left.
He's gonna be kidding. You were even complimenting him. I don't understand the logic.
Nigga left.
There is no logic.
I'm about to be a 100% honest a young brother to show an older man respect.
Listen,
Nobody, but Donnie, you're in the comments. Donnie, I never said all men. She didn't say all men. She said men.
Because I've been on this app long enough to know that many of you all niggas are obtuse as fuck. So I always specify and qualify my statements because you can't understand the concept if it don't apply. Let it fly.
Bro, she said
She said men. Because I said all men at one point in time, whether it was younger, they were old, they lied to somebody. It may not be every chick that they dealt with, but they done lied at one point or another for some coochie. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, well, you said, I mean, but still, is it a lot? Okay, is it a lot? Is it a lot? Like, I can understand it. Nigga, you shouldn't get mad at something like that. It'll be different if the woman said, not the woman. If Miss Jazz said, all niggas are thugs and criminals. All black men, that would be, come on now. You know what I'm saying? But you talking about a lie?
The hit dog holler. He said, if it don't apply, let it fly. But sir, that's exactly what you crawled up here to do. That
was so sad, brother. I was finna mute my mic, and if I'm giving you respect, I even said the type, man, that nigga said, I can't handle no young man coming to me maturely.
Listen, I will say this, Kim Monger. I will say this. This is something I realized getting older, and also going through therapy for other things. And I think this is a truth. People absolutely lie and manipulate us, right? People. But more often than not, we manipulate ourselves well beyond what someone else is able to do to us, right? Because we're better at it. We know our skill sets. We know our heart. We know our weaknesses. We know our strengths. We are able to, when we do it on a daily basis, not just relationships in general, like just on day to day, whether you go into the gym, I don't feel like going today, I have an excuse for it, whatever it is, we manipulate ourselves far more than anyone's power to be able to manipulate us. And we see that happen oftentimes, unfortunately, in relationships, because yes, there are opportunities, and a lot of opportunities where someone is showing us, man or woman, whatever, is showing us something that we want to see. But there's also opportunities when that individual is showing us the things that we don't want to see. And now we have an option, right? We have an option. We either manipulate ourselves to continue to see the things that we would rather see, because we know that if we were accountable, not accountable, I hate using that word, but if we were to actually like be honest with ourselves and see what we know that is there to be seen, that would cost us, that would force us to make a choice. And that choice would be something that we don't want to make. So oftentimes we will manipulate ourselves to continue to see the things that dismiss the things that someone is showing us in plain sight or whatever, because we don't want to make the decision that we think is disadvantageous to what we want for ourselves personally. And we do that.
CK is I feel what you're saying, CK, because in a sense that is true, right? But you have to, that comes with maturity to know what that is, like to know that you're manipulating yourself. Because I mean, and I'm gonna be just real. Some of the worst things I've ever experienced at the hands of men wasn't because in my mind I was manipulating myself. I was choosing to expect that person to love and respect the same way I was loving and respecting. I was expecting something from someone. I was expecting them to do what I would do. And growing and going through life and understanding that that's not how people operate was my biggest lesson. That was my biggest lesson. You can't expect people to go about things the way that you would. So you have to see shit for what it is. And you have to just go with, okay, I would have liked for him to do this. And I know he's smart enough to do this and have handled this way. But he chose to be opposite of that. And it was even crossed the lines of disrespect, right? And knowing that if I would have done it, he would have had a problem with it. When women start to do that, it just removes any extra room for giving second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chances. Like when you realize if a person truly gave a fuck about you, they simply wouldn't do anything to disrespect you. I feel like you got to go out of your way to disrespect somebody. I feel like there's so much more work into just operating like you don't give a fuck about a person that you claim you give a fuck about. Because like, there's just no way. I don't know. I just felt like I always think twice before I do something to somebody. And I realized general just don't move that way. And I just had to take shit for what it is. And when people learn to do that, you remove so much stress from your life. So much stress.
Really quick, the reason why I said, and some people in the audience are disagreeing, the reason why I said that CK is cooking is because it applies to both men and women. Because men are manipulating themselves into thinking that there's something that they're not in order to lie to women to get the things that they want out of them. So what he said applies to everybody.
Yeah, that was it. 100%. And Jazz, you are absolutely right. Like with your expectation of like what someone should treat you and how they should treat you, that is 100% valid. 100%. What happens is the manipulation is after the fact. Once we have understood that, hey, this individual is showing me and we are not congruent. He or she is able to do things to me that I wouldn't do to them. Or this man saying, just like Extra Crispy said, I'm willing to do this, and I know that's not who I really am, but I'm gonna try to be that man, whatever it is, so that I can get whatever it is that I want from that individual. It's after the fact, after that realization, what your actions are. Are they to continue to do it, or is it to pull the Band-Aid and be like, hey, I've got to go? Or is it, hey, you know what, I'm going to continue to not see these things because they're disadvantageous to my end goal?
Javon, brother, I wonder if you're busy. Javon?
I'm going to pay my bad shit.
Oh, okay. All right. Who is this? I don't even like answering stuff like this.
Kim, we up here having a really fruitful, progressive conversation, understanding each other. And your comment section is just, goddamn.
They chewing you up, CK. They chewing you up. They hate you. They hate you.
Comment section saying,
Listen, I'm not the archetype, because here's the thing, because I'm not the archetype that they need me to be. Right? Like, I'm a real grown-ass man that has been out in the real world, has done healing, and under like these individuals here, and we got to maybe kind of curb this in 2025. A lot of individuals are having conversations through their pain, through the lens of their own trauma. So they're unable to hear things, even if it's neutral, even if it's in a positive way, even if it's someone who they don't think should co-sign to it, agrees with it. They're unable to see it because they can't work through their own lens.
Hold on, y'all. I want to. Hold on, y'all. I want to see if this is a real.
I think they trolling.
The gray ghost. Yeah, something to say.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the prompt real quick in the back.
Okay.
My only real issue is the second statement that men can't stand on their own 2 feet without women.
Not a statement.
I think it's
not a statement.
I'm sorry, the question.
Okay.
The question. But I want to make a statement.
Okay.
And I want to say that nobody should be asked to stand on their own 2 feet and do everything alone. The problem is we don't come together as men and build resources amongst each other. And what we all know and what we've all seen throughout history is the only person who's going to stand by you no matter what is a Black woman. So I don't blame these people for running to the only place of refuge they ever known when we are not out here building anywhere for them to go. And so I'm taking it upon myself to get off the internet and go into the community, to go down to the boxing gym and talk to the teenage boys and have conversations that's not about getting money and getting girls, but asking them about like what people do they think have integrity? Who are the people that they pay attention to that they believe are teaching them what the future is going to be like? We keep continuously trying to train men for a future that's already passing them by. We need to be thinking about how we can get our mindset to a space where we understand how to take care of each other and can lean on each other so that we're not forced to go back and lean on women. I think we put the onus on these men because they're the ones perpetrating, but we don't look around and say, you know, if there is no other shelter, where would they run?
Okay. Oh, so
on a panel with so many healing men. Love it.
that was very, the way you spun that, very interesting, very educated, and I get it. However, as a young man, hearing from my father, my grandpa, do you think it was misogynistic for a man to tell another man that he needs to be able to stand on his own 2 feet?
I think when we're talking this pull yourself up by your bootstraps type language, we are not acknowledging that people need help. Everybody needs help. There is no true self-made nothing out there. And when people are down, when they don't have help, they're going to turn and run to whoever's offering it. And if we are not offering it, that's on us. That's not on the women. And that's not on them either, right? Because they're the ones that are weak right now. They're the ones that are down. So it's the ones that are up that have to, you know, lend them that help and pull them up too.
So let's relate it back to the other prompt. So I get what you're saying. So men can't stand on their own 2 feet without a woman. Is it not optimal to say that a man, now whether you're religious or not, just y'all, I know some of y'all be getting mad at the word purpose. Stay with me, be balanced. Should a man be in his purpose before he even starts dating a woman? Meaning he is able to take care of himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no question.
So that is what I mean when I say men can't stand on 2 feet, because what I'm relating it to is that a lot of the success that a lot of men get is through the investments of a woman behind him, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a marriage, right? And I'm
100% true.
And I'm saying that I don't think it is a good thing for a man to have to be so solely dependent on a woman, besides his mother when he's an infant, right? On a woman to get to a level of success to where he has to, you know, I don't think it's optimal for a man to be dependent on a woman, because we love to say that women do need men, but it seems like with the conversation we're having with our financial struggles, now there's systemic issues. I'm not trying to throw that out. You know, y'all people be stupid. But the Black woman is able to overcome a lot without being tied.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But it's just amazing that for us, the man, and a lot of times, we can't seem to do that shit. I'm not saying we're not doing it. Hold on, because I know niggas like to go to the extreme. It just seems like a lot of the times we can't seem to do that without a woman being tied to us. And I don't know if we are deserving of the title leader or provider. I'm just looking over at it from an overall standpoint. But you are right. Men should help other men level up. But I'm saying it's a damn shame for a man to not be able to level up without being tied to a woman. Now, marriage is different. You're tied to one another. That's y'all's though. It's not yours. Y'all's. But a woman usually the first investor, which is sad, and that's what I'm trying to unpack. Like it's a damn shame for us to even call ourselves men.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I'm rambling. I'm about to say it's a damn shame for us to even call ourselves men. You know, I'm gonna uphold the patriarchy and the misogyny when it comes to talking to men, because I understand we understand that. So when it comes to men and manhood, right? I think it's a damn shame for us to be so solely dependent on a woman and not be able to achieve things without being tied to a woman. That's what I'm basically the statement. Men can't stand. Well, question: men can't stand on their own 2 feet without a woman comes from.
Well, kind of expound on it, bro. Are you saying like in community or in relationships? Because I would say in community.
In community.
Well, in community, we kind of stand on each other in community.
No, absolutely not. Nope.
No.
We
should. Give an example of how.
Wait. Hold on, y'all. He being balanced. Let him.
Yeah, like give me. I'm trying to give an example.
But even in a relationship, right? What's the statement behind every successful man? Right? Is a what?
Is a successful woman.
And what is she doing?
No, a strong woman is actually the statement.
A strong woman.
And what is she doing? She's investing. I'm sorry.
She's okay. So if I get the patriarchal colloquialism term that you have right, we're saying like behind every strong man, behind man is a strong woman, alluding to like nuclear family, right? The strength of the family, because we know like CEOs, majority of CEOs, people that are moved up the corporate ladder, generally have someone behind them. They are generally married, things of that nature. So like, yes, I get that point as well, you know, but I think I'm just asking, right? If we're saying, hey, if that colloquial term I hate use, it's the same as like a happy house, happy wife, happy life, shit like that. Like that whole patriarchal colloquialism, like whatever it is, smorgasbord. But I'm just simply saying is that if we were going to say that situation, right? The men are saying, if we were to reverse, I'm trying to make these words sound right. If they reverse it, we're just saying, okay, behind every successful family would be 2 partners that are working towards that family thriving. Like that's what I'm just trying to get understand. It's like, where if someone could give me an example or so of where it's like, hey, you know, without the community is not helping one another in really micro terms, not a macro, because we can always find one for one. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the term.
I got confused when I was talking.
Well, there's a term. I mean, have we ever heard the term behind every successful woman is a good man? Like, does that apply?
No.
But to answer his question, I would have no problem with, you know, behind every successful household is 2 partners working together. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Happy life. It's the same thread, like happy wife, happy life type thread. You know what I mean? Like, I understand the basis of it, but the basis of it was based on a power dynamic.
But the happy wife, I thought the happy wife thing came from the woman, the man being able to provide everything. Like, because
happy wife, happy life meant that if like you could use anything close to that. It's like if mom's not happy, the house ain't happy. You know what I mean? It's just literally like the aspect of like, hey, If this person in the happiness and the fragility of your home is based on one person's happiness. That's why we've seen it change now to happy house, happy spouse, because it goes away from people feeling as if, hey, if my wife isn't if my wife's feeling happy is the only thing that matters. And if I'm unhappy, it doesn't matter as long as she's good.
Well, let me answer what he said, because you said yeah, it said, so Buddy had asked a question talking about so on a societal basis, no, we don't depend on each other. We I ain't going to talk about that. But in a relationship, when it comes, the argument that I'm making is that when it comes to a financial freedom, it usually takes the backing of a woman. And it's like, why can't we achieve that on our own? But you see black women, not saying black men don't open business, that's bullshit. But you see black women can go through the mud and climb out of their poverty. They can get a degree, they can hop into a career field, they can start their own business, they can make some investment, they can do all these things. Now that's what I'm saying. Why is it that they can do it better than us? Is that fair to say?
I think I can answer that.
They also have the support of black women, is what I'm saying. They have the support system of black women. It's the best available support system.
Not always. Can I express? Can I express, because I want to say something real quick. I'm one of those black women who does not have the benefit of village. I have to do everything that I do for myself and my child on my own, because my family is not in a position to be a support to me. Now, does that make me angry? No. But what happens is out of a necessity of survival, we don't have a backup plan. Once we lose y'all, we don't have a backup plan. We don't have backup. We don't have somebody else that we can call in to help us make up the difference. So what happens is that a lot of black women, we find ourselves in positions where we have to make impossible things possible out of sheer survival. It's not because y'all are not capable. It's just that y'all always have us. One variation of us or another. It is not your girlfriend or your wife, it's your mom or your sister or your cousin or somebody. There's always a black woman looking out for black men. But unfortunately, when black women lose the support of black men, we don't have anybody else to call. So we have to.
So that I get you. I understand what you're saying, but I think I've struggled with that. Right? Is that like, if we know that black women always generally are amazing and better at men at building relationships and community, right? We're always we're talking about we use 4B, we use anything positive, right? That women are great at taking care of one another and finding each other, right? And building community from that. Even in protection, women are more likely to protect other women than men are willing to protect those women, right? And I think the epicenter of seeing that, of us saying that men have somebody to fall back on, I think that's really subjective, because we talked about for the first 4 months about the male loneliness epidemic, right? Like men not having a friend, not having somebody they can talk to, somebody they can lean on, somebody they can go back and be like, hey, here's my support system for that. Men being not having that support system. So I think we can only talk about this in a macro sense in the confines of a relationship. That is the only way, a interpersonal romantic relationship could be the only way that we can talk about this, because just like you don't have a village, there are men that don't have a village, right? There are women that also don't have villages. So I don't think we can have a prescriptive perspective.
Hold on, Lady T, hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Everybody mute their mic just for 1 second. TK, save your point, because I want to dissect into that from a relationship aspect. Miss Tam or Mr. Tam?
Mr. Tim, you know I'm a woman.
Not you.
Oh, okay.
not you. Not you. Not you. Tam, on YouTube, you're in the StreamYard. You gotta press the unmute button on your mic. All right, so there you go. Hello?
Yeah, you.
Wait. Can you say that one more time?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to make a comment about, I guess about sort of like Black men in particular. I don't think it's. I think sometimes we often hear like there's always like this weird sort of comparison between Black women and.
I don't know what happened. I didn't drop her. Ma'am, I didn't even press a button. She just got dropped. I didn't kick her. Like my hand wasn't even next to my mic. Ma'am, if you're still in the chat, you're welcome to come back. Maybe she probably accidentally pressed a button. If you're still in the chat, you can come back up and I'll bring you back up. I'll remember your name. TK, oh shoot, what's her name left? What's the girl name? Oh, BPG's here. Oh, go ahead and finish it.
Well, yeah, that was just it. I think we want to talk about it because like everybody, it's going to be subjective. Everyone doesn't have a support system, a village. We can sometimes see that, right? With men, right? And we also sometimes we see that when women have children, they don't have that village that they thought they had once that man has gone out that situation. And then there's this trials and tribulations of single motherhood and not having someone to be able to help and things of that nature. So, like I said, I outside of confines of interpersonal relationship, like it's going to be subjective based on that person's availability of people of having a support system. And unfortunately, majority of people do not have a support system in general. And I think that's the biggest, and which is causing a lot of issues with mental health. And we saw that hugely during COVID. People couldn't have friends that they thought they had based on the jobs that they went to, seeing every day, situational friendships, things they thought were lasting did not last because they were not true and people did not have the support system.
Okay. Well, the great goes. I'm gonna let you hop back in a second. BPG, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. Go ahead. What you got?
No, I always like it sparks a thought in me every single time I hear the happy wife, happy life. Because I did like a little deep dive on that. And a lot of people don't know that phrase derives from women who were in these traditional homes, quite literally losing their minds. Like the reason why that phrase came about is because these women were like, some of them were going as far as to having their husbands lobotomize them, like their husbands were lobotomizing them. They were getting shock treatment, all kinds of stuff, getting medications because of the fact that they were so involved in family life that it had started to give them mental health issues. So because their lives were so wrapped up in their husbands and their kids, of course, we all know, kids get to a point where they're pretty self-sufficient. Your husband, is going off to work, and now you're sort of left in a I'll say a dizzy space where you're trying to figure out who you are, but because of the fact that you don't have access to resources or to be able to educate yourself or all that stuff, these women were losing their minds, and it was affecting not only them, but it was affecting their family. So they came up with that phrase, happy wife, happy life. It was still very patriarchal because it was still based on the premise that, if you make your wife happy, then it'll be of benefit to you. It wasn't actually to be of benefit to her, but I think it goes back to what your point is here, which is men having difficulty standing on their own 2 feet and women not financially investing in men that they are dating. But it more ties into the first one, I'll say, because for a lot of men, when they don't have wives, they unalive earlier. They die sooner when they don't have wives. When they don't have women to care for them, when they don't have women to set their doctor's appointments, when they don't have women to make sure that they're eating right, when they don't have women to make sure that their standard of care for life is up to par, a lot of those men sort of fall by the wayside because those women in their lives are actually, they're keeping up with their husbands much more than the husbands are keeping up with their wives. So for a lot of men, until they get to the point of trying to get away from what those the term is hegemonic masculine roles are, they'll continue to sort of see that decline because as much as patriarchy stifles women from being able to have
access to resources and upward mobility, it stops men, because men should be able to care for themselves and be able to live whether they have a partner or not.
Why?
Order up.
But like that's but
The
that's
chicken's
but,
ready.
but it's just like that's sad. But that's sad. We got to really ask ourselves as men, like, why? Why are we so dependent on a damn woman? And that's that's why I don't want us using this term leader, writer, and all that stuff, because it's like if we so dependent. Because what she said is factual. You know, married men live longer. But that's sad. At the same time, that's sad though. You know, why are we so dependent on women? Why are we so box focused? Why are we weaponizing incompetence and stupid shit like that? Why though? Is it really conditioning? Or are we fucking I'm sorry, are we lazy?
I mean, do you want to have the evolutionary biology conversation?
Lazy as fuck.
I think it's changing.
Somebody said lazy as fuck.
Because even because listen, Killmonger, even that stat about like men living longer, like that was kind of they're using like 650s, 60s, and 70s. Like statistically, it's 2.2 years that men are living longer. And I think this just it's a lot of just like what masculinity is, and you know, taking care of yourself and going to the doctor and doing all those things that we're just kind of primed in our childhood. Like, hey, you get hurt. If Killmonger goes and falls in the dirt and he scratches his knee, get up, boy, you all right. Dusting your knee off, you good, even if you bleed, right? But you know, it just starts there. It starts at a young age. It starts with our fathers. It starts with our mothers. It starts with our friend groups. So it starts early that neglecting our health, because neglecting our health and just pushing it to the side somehow equates to our strength. So it starts at a very young age in how we're indoctrinated.
Hold on. Let me try this one more time, Tam. You can go next. I'll try this one more time. All right, Tam on YouTube. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sorry about that. I wanted to agree with the young man that was just speaking. I do think it starts very early on, even in the school systems. You know, we immediately see by kindergarten, girls are really sort of, especially since like the 60s and 70s, they're really sort of pushed towards careers and reading and math and just, you know, really becoming learned individuals. Whereas our boys are really, unfortunately, sometimes pushed into sort of athletics, pushed into entertainment. And it's almost like a quick win. Either you make a million your first year out of high school or you don't make it at all. And I think not allowing them to have diverse opportunities and seeing themselves in diverse fields, which, you know, if you think about the 60s and 70s and 80s, you know, you saw Black men in almost every single field. It was only, you know, when you look at Steve Urkel that people started to look at being a learned doctor or a learned person as a nerd and something that was invaluable. But we have always had learned men in our community, and those were the true leaders who really moved mountains for the last decades that we've been in this country. And they really were the builders, and they build alongside their families and alongside their women and children, and they built for them. But I think most recently, since like the 90s and 2000s, what you're actually seeing is our boys are reading at a very low rate. And when you don't comprehend, then that means that you are making decisions based on emotion, and you really can't make it on logic because you're not really able to really access comprehension and access the logical part of your brain, which oftentimes is the left side, not necessarily the right, which is the creative side of things. And so when you see that juxtaposition of very learned women, right, that are getting college degrees, masters, et cetera, above, and then men that are being pushed that are reading below almost even just a basic 7th grade reading level, which is what Western civilization is built on. Can you read at 7th grade level? Then you really have an unevenly yoke group of people. No matter what you want to do, you can only move forward with learned people. It takes all kinds, but you must have those people that are the visionaries, those people that are building the mission, and then those people that are implementing the mission, and everyone's working together. So I think to really begin to have this conversation and really begin to sort of unpack what has really happened in the last 70 years, we first have to look at how our children are being educated, what careers are they being pushed into, what's happening within our school systems, what are we showing to our children, especially our boys, that is critical and important for them to eventually become husbands and leaders within the community? What are we also doing with our girls to make sure that they're also able to continue to collaborate and support and move our communities forward? Because it takes all kinds in a society, not just in the Black community, but in every community. It takes all kinds of people, but it's learned people who are able to provide that intellect and knowledge and wisdom that it takes to really push a mission and a vision forward. So I don't necessarily think that Black men in particular are really any different than any other men in the community. But I do think that what we have to really key on and be focused on is how are we educating our young men, and how are we providing thousands of opportunities. If you don't want to play football, if you don't want to play basketball, if you don't want to be a rapper, just letting them know there's value in you being an entrepreneur, there's value in you being a doctor, there's value in you being a teacher, there's value in you changing tires. All of it is critical in building a community, and there is a place for everyone in that community. But I think what's critical is we are not really promoting the key piece that has always moved our community forward. Even in slavery times, people did not want you to read. They didn't want you to do math. There's a reason, because when you can read, you can think. And when you can think, you can communicate. When you can communicate, you can build. And when you can build, you can move mountains. And I think if we can just get back to those critical pieces, I think all the East Coast, West Coast weirdness, women against men stuff, you can't compete where there's no comparison. Men are men, women are women. There's no comparison. People are people, right? And everybody wants the same thing. But I think when you start moving away from the logical point, then it goes into carnality, and it goes into just sheer raw emotion. And raw emotion, in some cases, can really create war. It can create deaths. It can create violence. It can create some of the weird things that I think we're all experiencing just as humans most recently. But I think it's because we have, again, moved away from those critical pieces that have always been the stability within the community. And that is, everyone wanted to learn something. And more importantly, everyone understood that they had value as an individual. And that value was then brought to the collective group that continued to build out the human race. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my commentary on this. And I thank you for the work that you're doing, Shannon. And these conversations are critical to begin to move things back towards a central medium, which is important for the next generation of children. It's absolutely needed. So thank you so much for your time.
No, I thank you for coming up. And also, if you don't know about my good friend, Public Offender, he's definitely better than I am, a little bit more educated, a lot bit more educated on certain topics. You might want to go to his channel and subscribe to him. He has very balanced conversations, very real conversations, doing a lot of work over there. So, but I thank you for your kind words.
Absolutely. And thank you both for all the work you're doing. I'll also check that out as well. But I do think the critical piece, I just want to say, I don't think there's any competition, and there's no really comparison. There's just group of people that are moving in lanes and trying to master the lanes. But in order to build a highway, all those lanes have to converge and come together, and they have to move in a manner that moves humanity forward. So thank you both for all the work you all are doing. And, I'm looking forward to my granddaughter's group just really having an amazing community to really feel proud of. So thank you all.
Yes, ma'am. You have a good night. Thank you for your kind words.
Can I give some free therapy real quick, Monger?
Yeah.
I appreciate what the young lady was saying, but something that's really important for all of us as Black people, no matter what your identity is, your gender is. One of my previous therapists taught me something really important about emotions and logic. We're human beings. We need both of those things to make wise decisions. So completely absolving yourself of your emotions is not going to be helpful to you. What you do have to learn is how to react appropriately to your emotions. But wise decisions are always made with logic and emotion. You cannot make wise decisions with only one side of your brain. You have to be able to identify how something or a circumstance or a person is making you feel in order to then use your quote unquote logic to make a decision on how you want to govern yourself and react. So I just wanted to, and I'm not trying to jump down her throat, but that is something that I see in the Black community across the board that we struggle with. We're always talking about, oh, women are so emotional, men are so logical, so on and so forth. No, human beings are emotional and logical. It is, have you learned the skill sets to be able to pay attention to your feelings, how they come up in your emotions and how they come up in your body, identify them, and then be able to use them and your logic to make wise decisions for yourself. So I just wanted to throw that out there. There's some free therapy for everybody.
The Gray Ghost. I did say, go ahead.
Yeah, well, just off of that, I want to say I 100% agree. with what Extra Crispy just said. I think the problem is we try to teach young men about stoicism as a way to tell them to eliminate their emotions. But if you actually look into Stoic teachings, what they're actually talking about is expressing your emotions through the lens of logic. It's understanding why you feel the way you feel, why you're triggered, so that you can then make your decisions not based on the trigger, but the responses bring it up in you. But the problem that I see is there aren't safe spaces out here for men to express their emotions and not be called weak and not be called soft. Guess what? You need a time where you can go and absorb all of the beating that you've been taking. When you go to the gym and lift weights, you do need to take a break sometimes for your muscles to actually grow. So what I would like to see is men being more open to actually talking about their emotions with each other without making each other feel weak or feel soft.
What I find funny is that, well, not funny. That was the wrong word to say. It's so easy to create them. We see men being. People say that these spaces don't exist. These spaces, I know people don't agree with the church. My church, you can cry. We lean on each other's shoulders. Tony Gaskin's church, is a whole bunch of churches do it. And then there's also online mentor groups where men meet up and they build a brotherhood and they can cry. I've seen men be vulnerable on TikTok with each other in lives when they're not keeping a foot down the black woman's neck or something like that. I've seen us cry on shit. I cried. You know what I'm saying? Even though people may not like Saw or whatever, and I understand. But when he explained his SA situation, and don't worry, I'm not sharing any information he has not said in the public. Okay? He was SA'd by an older woman. All right? I didn't say anything he wouldn't have allowed me to say. He said it. It's already out there. I had empathy and sympathy towards him. These spaces do exist. I've cried with black women on this live. You can look up Erica Coakley. They, quotations on they, got her son because she was getting active in the community in South Carolina or North Carolina, one of the Carolinas. These spaces do exist. And they're so easy to create. And we have the power to create them.
I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm not saying that they don't exist at all. What I'm saying is they're not. What I'm saying is it's not. We go in secret and do that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
we don't say that out loud.
I think the difference is because we used to have one for 3 years. And my homeboy Fullerfied. I think maybe Killmonger Room came there like a few times in the past in early stages. We had it for 3 years, man. It was an amazing safe place.
I appreciate your super chat.
Men that would come in there. We helped men just a variety of things to just talk about issues. Like we didn't even allow women to come on the panel. We also, we really didn't even want women to talk in the comment section because we were trying to keep it male focused on male issues and things that men are going through, things of that nature, and having that space. But here is the thing with anything, any space, people who are not ready to go in those spaces will avoid them, period. It can go for women. It can go for men. People will seek out the place that validates where they currently are in their life. So if you a red pill dude and you dislike women and you lost your money to your ex-wife or whatever, you're going to seek out those spaces. If you're a woman that's had negative experiences with men and whatever it is, you're going to seek out those spaces. People go where they feel comfortable. And sometimes going to that place, that they would rather jeopardize their comfortability, their growth for their comfortability. And we see people do that on a day-to-day basis.
That's because we out with Gen Pop. We talk about this all the time. Automatic students and all the gifted students be outside of the
trailers.
I'm tired.
I was just gonna add therapy. I think sometimes with some of those spaces, although they are great, and I love, people who can build community, they can also be slightly dangerous because there's different people in different phases of their healing and their growth and their development. And it could be great, but it could also be troubling for some people. And I want to know, because I heard you mention spaces, Killmonger, CK, and the Gray, but why therapy wasn't one of those?
Well, because listen, I have promoted therapy 1,000 times. I've gotten to so I'm gonna say why I didn't answer. I've gotten to the point where I don't know how. CK, just mute real quick because I want them to hear me say this specifically. I don't know how to communicate therapy with Black men because of my experiences. They keep saying that it's a shame. So I don't know how to that's just me being honest. I don't know how to tell the Black man to go to therapy because every time I tell the therapy is systematically used. I'm just using that word. That's not what they say, but they be like, it's used to keep the Black man down and it's not. And I'd be like, what? I don't. So me personally, I don't know how to communicate therapy to Black men because they keep rejecting it. So I don't know what to do.
I do. And we got to understand something, Tam. You're absolutely right. Here's the thing, though. Therapy is a socioeconomic privilege. For years, we have used the church, right? We've used, most cases, I mean, we're only talking about talk therapy. We're not talking about music therapy, like sound, like light therapy. We're not talking about those things. Majority of people don't know about that. We're talking about talk therapy was a socioeconomic privilege. My therapist costs $250 every 45 minutes. Majority of individuals cannot pay that. And also based on and it's a stigma that I had to work to my therapist with is that people think that the only reason you need to go to therapy is if you've had traumatic experiences that you need to get off your chest, you need to work through. People don't think of therapy as maintenance. Your mental maintenance, your health, they don't think of it as that. So like, shit, ain't nothing really happened to me that bad. You know what I'm saying? Why do I need to go to therapy? Whatever it is. So they don't go. 2022, 24% of people went to therapy. 4% of those people were recurring users, or people who came back. So only 16% of people actually went to therapy the other 60% went to therapy one time and never came back. An overwhelming majority of people do not go to therapy. We got a lot of broken people walking around and they find what's comfortable, AKA TikTok. And that's why we can't have the productive conversations that we have.
Well, I was gonna. Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to.
Okay, I was just going to mention, CK, I absolutely understand the privilege that there is to have therapy. I was going to mention, because I work in HR, a lot of companies, and this is maybe something you can share in those men's spaces that you all provide, but a lot of companies now, since the pandemic, offer the total rewards package, which is besides compensation and benefits, are like an EAP program, which is a free sessions. You typically get anywhere from 3 to 5, depending on what your company paid for. So I encourage them to use those. You can spread those out throughout the year. And I agree. I think a lot of people look at therapy as, well, something didn't happen to me that bad, so it doesn't need it. And the way I like to frame it is just like your body, you go in for a checkup, just like your teeth. Hopefully you get them shits clean twice a year at minimum. Your brain also needs some maintenance. It needs a tune-up. Your emotions, everything else needs a tune-up. So hopefully that's something that you all can promote in your spaces.
No, you're absolutely right. And thanks for information. Back to working our HR, you can spread that. There is one thing though, a lot of therapists do not file insurance for you because they have gotten so bogged down. And my therapist is one of it. And she says it's a network, and I'm in Atlanta. They do not file your insurance for you, because they get so bogged down in the minutia of filing and claiming and stuff that they can't work on the healing and they can't focus on the healing of their patients. So they don't even file for insurance. They'll be like, I'll give you your information, you do it yourself. And majority of people don't go through with it.
That is true. I always tell people that I talk to, especially my employees, go through your insurance first. Because a lot of insurance, they have like sometimes an app or a finders kind of like section where you can filter it down to your doctor, you can filter it down to your dentist, you can filter it down to your therapist if you want them to be Black, if you want them to be a certain age, if you want to be located this way, if it's telehealth. Go that route. And then once you call them and you go through your insurance, it kind of automatically starts the filing process for you.
But having the ability to be able to be therapized is very much a privilege, but also it's one very small portion. I wouldn't even say it's a third of the work. If you live in a community where you're in a food desert, if you live in a community where, where you don't have access to clean water, where you don't have access to education, where you don't have access to the ability to work, like you live someplace where, the unemployment is high, being able to be therapized through that will not help. Like because it doesn't actually solve what the issue is. It can draw attention to it. It can help, with coping mechanisms. But the reality is, for a lot of people, especially, there are two things that happen when it comes with therapy. The first thing is that people don't have access to it because we don't have access to most things that are helpful to our bodies, especially when you're talking about the Black community. But it's even well beyond healthcare. Like, you're talking about trying to rewire the brains of people who have experienced immense amounts of trauma that have been passed down through generations. Like, we know that that's a very real present experience. But the other thing is therapy is still considered something that is very feminine. It's considered, something that if you're a man and you're open to, going and sitting on the couch and crying, because people aren't open to what therapy actually is, because they think of therapy like Frasier. They think of therapy as something that, people do when they have a lot of money or when they are feminine. And anything that is feminine coded, men tend to stay away from. Like, that's the honest to God truth. And men don't support other men in that. And it's funny, I was reading a book and it was talking about Jordan Peterson and how the APA has started to investigate how toxic masculinity was one of the main components of why men don't live as long as women. Like, how harmful it was teaching boys these toxic masculine traits, and how it was causing harm to the community at large, but specifically to men. And he shut that down. Like, he intentionally stopped that. Like, a lot of what we see, especially when we're talking about red pill, it frustrates me so bad because people will say that red pill is the opposite of feminism. No, red pill is genuinely out to cause physical harm to not only women but also to men. Right. Like, it's a very easy slippery slope to fall down, but it is genuinely out to hinder men from being able to understand themselves as human beings, because in order to be deeply vested in all of those oppressive systems that continue to help this country and a whole lot of other countries make money and have resources, you have to be able to subjugate people, because they have to buy into the idea that Black people are less intelligent. They have to buy into the idea that women are less intelligent, that children are worthless until they reach a certain age. All of these things are tied together, and it unintentionally trickles down into all of these other ideas that could be helpful to men, like being able to go to therapy, like building communities with other men where you are able to have conversations about things that y'all have in common. And it makes those things distorted, and it disparages men from participating in those things so that you can continue to add into the system.
I want to be clear on my messaging. It was not that therapy is the end all be all.
I wasn't disagreeing with that. That's not what I was saying.
No, it wasn't you. I was just saying in general, because there's people in the comments as well. That is not what I was saying. What I was saying is that is an aspect of, that is something that I would love for those spaces that you all have, that we can start promoting that. To your point, it's changed that narrative, that negative stereotype that is behind therapy. But yeah, I absolutely agree that that is just a fraction of what is probably necessary for most people.
Mr. Gray? Oh, wait, who? CK, you hopping in?
No, I was just saying that, like, just giving this, BPG was right on the nail about, like, it being feminine, and, like, I think the misconception, she said Frasier. Like, just to really quickly, when I go in, my therapist, like, we sit down 9 times out of 10, like, I'm not going there with some huge whatever it is. I may have some troubles or whatever it is, but with the thing for your therapist to help you, there has to be a through line. There has to be consistency so that they can have a starting point and a thread line. So a lot of times I just go talk about whatever's going on, my day, whatever situation, whatever it is, because I only go once a month. And then it's just a stream of consciousness. And then I may hit on something. And she's like, okay, here's an issue. And then she can connect it to all of the through line of other things and be like, okay, well, this seems like a part of the theme that we've talked about, that we've been working on. So, like I said, it doesn't always have to, it doesn't have to be your dog died and now you got 3 shingles that fell off your roof. And, it don't have to be that crazy. Like, you could just, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be that. But A lot of people are just trying to survive, and thriving is not an option, and that helps them thrive.
And can we start connecting therapy and just getting better emotionally, et cetera, to an end goal for the people? Because that's where I think a lot of the problems also lie. The things that y'all mentioned are important, but if we can figure out how to help people understand that therapy can help you have better relationships, therapy can help you make more money, therapy can help you to live longer, whatever the thing is that is the modus operandi of that particular person or group, connected to something that is tangible for them. Because just continuously telling folks, oh, well, you have emotional issues, blah, blah, blah. People do not respond. The average person, like I said, we out here with Gen Pop because we're not amongst the Black intelligentsia and university and academics all the time, especially on this app. So connecting it to something that is specific to them and that's important to them. If you know the hood young niggas is always about having a money brick, well, tell them that going to therapy help you get money, bro. You're gonna get more money bricks, so you can pose more in the pictures with your middle finger up with your homeboys. But now you won't put no pew-pews in there because now you understand that is not intelligent. Whatever it is, it needs to be connected to. You got to meet people where they are. So for the women, some of us are goofy as hell too. Tell them that if you go to therapy, you might actually have a better chance of getting a decent husband or boyfriend if they're quote unquote male centered. Find something to connect this stuff to for these people so that they understand that this is not just about saying that you're quote unquote crazy or diagnosing you with something. Connected to an outcome for them. I don't care if you tell them, yeah, you're gonna get a mental BBL. If you go to
Man,
mental BBL.
mental BBL is
whatever,
crazy.
whatever is necessary.
Not
Get them some assistance.
Not you become
No, CK, I gotta hold on, the great, because I just you're gonna go in and say, I gotta ask CK, what the hell do you be doing in these TikTok streets? This is the second time somebody in the be PG in the comment. What do you be doing?
Well, you know, I be even killed. You know, I be even killed, and I be giving my perspective as neutral as possible. It always be. I ain't never had no beef with BPG. Like it may be the context of the conversation.
The truth ain't in them, but that's okay because I never take it personally.
It's based on the context or whatever it is, but it also is based on the audience, bro. We having a productive conversation. Majority of TikTok is not productive, bro. They just need it's either a men's side or women's side. They just need somebody to beat up on because the person they want to talk to don't want to accept their calls. So that's why I'm on TikTok. That's all it is.
No, Greg, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I would say for me, I've been in therapy for about 3 years now. And for a long time, I had a lot of the same thoughts that this is just for crazy people. This is for people who are weak, who don't know how to deal with their problems. And that's because I had this view that I was never able to show weakness. In public, behind closed doors, there's no time when you can ever be weak. And that's obviously impossible for anybody. There's going to be moments where you're down. There's going to be moments where you're hurt. And what I found from therapy was that it's not just about the access in terms of money. It's also access in terms of therapists that can understand your lived experience and know how to remove their lens, which 9 times out of 10 is a racist one. So I think we also need to recognize that while therapy is a powerful tool, it's still within, the society that we're operating in. And so while therapy is not the end all be all, it does give you extra tools for your tool belt. And I think I agree with Extra Crispy, right? When I talk to the young dudes, I never make it about like feelings and stuff like that. I always say, hey, what I'm trying to solve these problems for is so I can reach my goal. And if that goal is getting more money, you know what I'm saying, to flash on the gram or whatever that is, then having my mind right is going to help me do that. And so being able to relate it back to something they care about, talking about, the athletes or the rappers or whoever they like, and being like, yeah, look how he's getting his mind ready for the game. So how you going to get your mind ready to deal with the stuff you got going on? That's like one of the few things that I found that actually gets through to them. But then, a lot of it is the follow through. A lot of times, I find myself as one of only a few people that they will actually listen to. And so it becomes more about like, when the world keeps showing them one thing, how do I get them to believe that it can be different? You know what I mean? And that's what I tend to struggle with because, you can't save everybody, but you don't want to feel like that.
That part, but also tell the YNs that the more therapy you get, the less you be scaring the hoes. They'll go.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying.
Exactly. I was told to shut up in the comments because I mentioned therapy. Scared me. You never get this.
I'm laughing at what she said. I'm sorry, man. I'll never.
Because and you
No.
see my name, Monger. You see my name. Listen, we gonna put some sugar in the medicine, all right? I'm gonna laugh you out your drawers and laugh you all the way to therapy. Good God. Good God.
I think you know, we often talk about what people should do, but you know, people are an investment. So what about it's hard. I think the best way to reach somebody is to invest your time with them and go to these things with them. If you talk about, you know, therapy, will you take time out your day to go to therapy with that person? Or if they need something done here, will you take time out your day to be a servant and go along with that person? Like, be a friend to that person in their time of need. I think that's another thing that's missing, is that we often say what needs to be done, but are you providing the support system with them and going with them as they try to figure these things out? That's my little personal opinion.
I think that's valid, and I think that for a lot, I think people have unrealistic expectations for therapy. I know for me, I really genuinely thought that somebody would. I did before I went to therapy. I thought that it would be somebody sitting me on a couch and talking about, you know, I would share these personal things, and then they would, you know, tell me how to manage my feelings, and then tell me, you know, what's the pain points of these things, and then I would go home. That's not at all what happened. And for me, I did. I walked out of therapy. I quit. I was like, oh heck no, because my therapist was talking about doing some really, really deep dives into my childhood. And I think for a lot of people, they think that therapy means that, you know, you're essentially getting fixed from these things. Some of that therapizing is very, very painful. Some of that stuff is very, very deep. Some of that stuff it reopens wounds that people aren't prepared to really look at. And I think that people underestimate some of the things that people go through, especially when you're talking about, I always tell people that the bottom of the totem pole is not men or women, but it's children. And when you talk about the harsh realities of what it is you face, even if you think about things that you would never talk about from your own childhood, you know that they exist and you know that they're there. And honestly, you know that you don't never want to have to go back to that. It's unrealistic to, you know, believe that for a lot of people, they even have the strength and the ability, even with support, to be able to revisit these things. But I think that that's where, you know, like I said, that balance comes in, where you create community, where you create kinship, where you create, you know, familiar relationships, whether these people are, you know, blood related to you or not, where you have the ability to sort of grow into the version of the person that you desire to see, as opposed to, you know, constantly harping on being a fixed person. I hate when people give, and I think you're married too, Shannon, but
Yes, ma'am.
I hate when people give the advice that, you know, the reason why you haven't found a partner or whatever is because you haven't worked on yourself. It ain't enough work in the world to prepare you for marriage. It's not, it's not like, how do you plan on spending the rest of your life with somebody and you think you're gonna be fixed before you spend 50 years with somebody? Like, it's not possible. But what is possible is creating a community with somebody and creating a family with somebody where, as you continue to work on yourself, you have the support that you need to build onto the new version of yourself as you go.
Yeah, nobody's a finished product. And I don't believe the average person is looking at the average person as a finished product, or
Yeah.
even with them statements, you know, because you know some guys would be like Dr. Umar in his latest video talking about black women. The problem with the black woman is that she's looking for a finished product. The average the average black woman is not looking for a finished product. It's not what's going on here. So let's stop gaslighting. But you're always supposed to be evolving anyway.
Exactly. There's no such thing as healed or you have it all figured out. There's no such thing as that.
Yeah, like you find somebody I know, find somebody that's for you. Y'all go through life together. Like, I'm not about to
Can I
tell
tell y'all a secret? Can I tell y'all a secret? I'm gonna tell y'all a real quick secret. I'm sorry, Gray. Just a real quick secret. Black women are not looking for a finished product. They're looking for adults, responsible adults. That's it.
I disagree slightly, because I think a lot of people are looking for a finished product because of their insecurities. They believe that there are people out there who have it all figured out and are the opposite of them. So I think there are some people that are out there looking for right, that other half, right, that's going to make them whole. And they think that it's going to be another person that's going to bring that into their life. And I think that's what people mean when they say, you know, working on yourself, like just making sure that you're comfortable with yourself before you bring another person's feelings, emotions, needs into the, you know, scenario.
But I'm saying the average woman. I don't think the average woman. I think the average. Let's keep it to black women, since they're the topic of discussion. Black women, on average. I'm not talking about the extremes or the degenerate, whatever term you want to use or whatever term y'all want to go with. 304s. I got time for that. The average black woman is not. I mean, the average black woman understands that the black man specifically is not going to be a finished product. If that was the case, you wouldn't have 50-50 marriages where they're both working towards a common goal or they're both working with each other. So no person is finished. No, you're always going to be changed. You're not going to be the next person. The person you are right now, you're not going to be the same person in 5 years. You're always constantly evolving. So to say it, nobody, no woman, no man will ever be a finished product. You're always going to change. Some for better, some for worse. Just saying.
That's the truth. And also, y'all, stop playing yourselves. Some of y'all in the comments are mad obtuse.
They're weird. They're weird in the comments.
Men and women. A lot of y'all do not put yourselves in environments or in positions in your own life to get what it is that you are requesting or requiring out of others. Do I need to say it again for the people in the back and the folks that you're not positioning yourself and you're not being honest with yourself about what your capacity and versus what your desires are. A lot of y'all can't handle the person that you say that you're looking for because they're going to require you to be actually accountable for real. They're going to require you to be have emotional regulation and be able to communicate. That is a lot of the issue, not just on this app, that happens in real life. People keep pursuing folks that they don't have credit worthiness for. You don't have the credentials for this person. You don't have emotional integrity and good health in that space. You're not financially stable. You're not creating an environment where you're making sure that your physical and mental, emotional health is taken care of. But you want somebody to come be Captain Save-A-Ho. Some of y'all are looking for parents, not partners.
We got a person that says they. We got a person that said they disagree. Like I don't disagree with what. No. I'm talking about the person that's coming up. I want to.
Oh yeah, no, and that's fine. But and like I said, this is information not just for the men. This is for women too, because I see some of us are quite delulu. Like I just, I want him, come, sweep me up off my feet, all of that bullshit. No, baby, sweep yourself off your feet. If you know how you want, if you treat yourself how you want to be treated, then you'll be able to recognize that in another man. Same thing for the men out here. If you treat yourself how you want to be treated, you create the environment for yourself before you go out here seeking partnership, then you'll more than likely be able to find people that are able to rise to where you are. But a lot of, and let me real quick, just anecdotal. I've been playing around being a hood sociologist. I use these dating apps to see what type of stuff works. And what I'm finding is that, especially for me, a lot of men that be coming after me know full well when they see my pictures. I got pictures of me on beach fronts and at the museum and in academic spaces and doing archery and stuff. And you know full well with all that dirt under your nails and that Cheetos in your teeth that you don't qualify. You know you don't. Some of you ladies be out here on this app swiping right on a man that you know you're not gonna do a push-up for that man, but you see him, he got a 16-pack and he running track on a day-to-day basis. You know you don't qualify. So a lot of times, a lot of our problems are about because we're unwilling to be honest with ourselves about where we are, what our desires are, and where our capacity lies. You don't have the capacity for the nigga or the bitch that you want, and you need to be honest with yourself about that. Let's just keep it real. I'm just saying. You need to fry yourself before somebody fries you. Okay?
Hold on, CK. I want to see. I don't know what exactly Moana. That's how you say your name. Is disagreeing with. So
Yes.
Yeah. How you doing?
First, thank you for letting me come up because I honestly was hearing everybody, and I actually really like this panel. And you're live. It was like educational. Nobody's fighting or arguing. Very nice.
Not yet.
Not yet. Of course, not yet. But no, you've seen other lives. It gets crazy. So a couple of things I had disagreed about was when it was brought up that it was really about therapy. The one where you're never truly healed. I personally disagree with that point, and wanting
going through therapy before you contribute or get into a relationship. And just to expand on what I was thinking was that personally, I started going to therapy about 15 years old. So now I'm 24 and I've been with the same therapist from that age to 24.
Okay.
And and when it came to dating and everything like that, it was because of my trauma, I was so sheltered and I kept it away from me. So basically, I stayed very, very distant. I wasn't communicative with Black men. I was always on the offensive. I was very masculine because I always had my wall up. Now, I knew I wasn't going to be able to contribute to a relationship besides the lovey-dovey cupcake phase. And so when I went to therapy, there were certain things that I was able to work on that allowed me to contribute and just to even respect male figures in my space, even as friends. So now at 24, I genuinely can say I'm healed because the most darkest parts of my trauma that I would suppress for years I can speak about it and give my testimony on it. Honestly, even just yesterday, I cried for hours because I kept saying I'm healed. I kept saying I'm healed, but I started talking about something and it made me shut and it made me break down. But however, being able to face all the dark parts and open them up and let air get into them and speak them and address people who are my family or in my proximity that have hurt me or whatever happened. I think that allows me to be in a relationship with any person and understand that one thing I never understood, that when you have a bad issue with somebody, or when you fall out with somebody, you can come back from that. I had a very hard time with that. Once I fell out with you, it was done. I felt like everything was gone now. I had nothing to revive. But I feel like therapy is one thing that gave me that. It showed me that. But that was really what I disagree with.
BPG.
Yeah.
Go ahead, because I saw you first. Go ahead.
I think we all heal till we not. I think that life has, and honestly, I love, and this is, I swear to you, this is not to, do the thing where I'm acting as if, because I'm older, I just know so much more. But I gotta add, those little dots and put just life right there in period, because I think that at 24, that is a very graspable concept, because it's just not a lot of life has happened at that point. And it always seems like it has. Like, I remember very vividly being 24 and genuinely thinking like, this is a lot of life that I have lived at this point. And it really just wasn't true. I didn't realize, and this is why I said I quit my therapist, to be completely candid. I genuinely thought that I was okay and that I was good and that my life was, and I had the cookie cutter life. You know what I mean? I had the husband, I had the kids, we had a home, everything. The whole thing. And then I lost a parent. And as soon as that happened, life went, oh, you thought you was healed? How about this? How about I pull a fastball? And I think that's the meaning behind what it is I'm saying. I think that we all think that we're at a point where we've gotten beyond whatever trauma or whatever things that we've gone through, and we think that we've surpassed those things, when really life just gets a little bit different and you cope a little bit differently, or you handle things a little bit differently, but it's peaks and valleys. You go through a point where you feel like everything is fine and everything is steady, and theoretically it is. And then there's a mountain. And then you go down, and maybe the next hump is a molehill, but then the next one is a bigger mountain. That is what I mean by people not ever getting to the point of being healed. You will continuously go through these cycles of life where it's some trauma you ain't overcame yet, because some trauma you ain't experienced yet. It's some stuff you haven't even gone through yet to know if you've overcome it. And I think that especially when it comes to relationships, I think that it is realistic to find somebody and be with somebody who you feel like is best capable to deal with those mountains and those molehills and those valleys as you go through it, but not necessarily with the mindset that, oh, I'm good, I'm healed, I'm intact, because I promise you, it'll sock you in the face real fast.
So for that, I would say I guess we have different meanings of when I say, or what I say and what you're referring to as trauma, because I can understand that in life, I don't know. I mean, I might go through bankruptcy, I might lose my house, whatever happens, I'm waiting to see, and that will still be traumatic for me, and I have to respond to it. But when I was speaking of trauma, and I'm not sure, but when I was speaking, and you can correct me, of course, when I was speaking of trauma, I was just talking about the very dark things, and I'm not going to be specific, but I just list a couple things to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So just my childhood alone, I was a child of an affair. So I had 13. Oh, sorry. Do you want to say something?
I don't. For your own protection, I always ask when a woman is about to be vulnerable that you're okay with being vulnerable. Because one thing I notice is the internet, and we are on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. I don't want you to put out your business if it's something too crazy and if you're not comfortable. So I just want you to think before you speak. And and people like to run off with. I'm very protective of women's testimony on this side. I don't like it. If you're comfortable, go ahead. But I'm interjecting myself before you make a decision to where your situations or your story is on the internet.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think I'm even more happy that I came on here because that is very honorable of you. So I won't get myself too personal into it, but I'll just say that I had a very troubled childhood, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And this is a spam page, so none of my personal stuff is on here, or for display. I'll say that. And I went through. I lost my mother at 19. Yes, and my mother was in and out of my life, and I was solely raised with my father. And I had to address a rape that I had suppressed for 10 years. And it was multiple things. And at the same time, I'm dealing with a disability. And all of this, and mind you, I'm going through all this before I even can hit 5th grade. So all of this is happening to me. And I'm like all for a long time, I just felt like life was happening to me. And I wasn't getting a say. And so I know everybody's kind of shocked, but trust me, this is I'm grateful because there was a time where these thoughts would scare me, and my soul, my heart would just start racing, and I couldn't speak it. But and it came to a point where I had to eventually be Baker active, because I wrote my first suicide letter at 12 years old. Okay. And I shouldn't say that word, but at that point I'm stopped. I won't even say anymore. But basically, this will give you a sense of, and all these things were burdening me, and I couldn't even have healthy relationships because I thought everything's supposed to be positive, and then when it turns negative, the relationship has died. So when I went through therapy, I personally would not be able to contribute to having a healthy relationship until I really addressed and ventured. And I'm not gonna lie, it was very hard. Certain sessions, because I was shut down, we would spend a whole hour and I was just quiet. And I couldn't even figure out what I was really wanting to say. And my therapist would just sitting there trying to pry information out of me and make me feel comfortable. And I'm just grateful that I'm in a space where I can even open up and share it. And even today, I would gladly go up and tell my testimony because I didn't like the way that it silenced me, because I'm a very social person. And despite the things, things weren't in the cards that life dealt me weren't the greatest. But I think my mom passed away when I was about 19 years old. So I wanted to address it with her, but now I had to work on forgiving somebody that can never hear me. I can never hear their response. I would sit there and cry and cry and cry and cry. And I'm crying for something that God can't give back to me. I can't get my mom back so we could talk this out. So I'm trying to forgive someone that can't even say sorry to me. So I think with that, I'm grateful that I've come to a space where even if you guys could see my face, I would be okay. I would go in front of a church and say this. I would go to a speech or a place and just exclaim my truth. Because and that's why my purpose is so strong, because we know as young Black women or young Black boys, and a lot of in our families, these things go on for some of us. And if we don't give our babies a roadmap, the U.S. is not going to give it to them, as we saw with this last election. So that's what I really want to say.
Can I say something real quick?
I feel like I shocked you. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't shock me. This is not the first time hearing these stories. Nobody's up here shocked. A woman getting raped, it's not shocking no more. I lost my mom when I was 18. I can understand the pain that's there, so I can relate to you on that place. But nobody up here is shocked. It's sad that this is a common thing that goes on in the world. It's a lot in the Black community, but it's in the world.
And to be honest, I'm Haitian American. So not only does it go on in Haiti, but it also goes on in the Black American community. And it doesn't like 60%, roughly 60 to 80% of young Black females are touched or hurt before they're 18 years of age. So this is common. This is really common.
Mm-hmm. Somebody wanted to say something. Somebody had said something.
Yeah, that was me.
What do you want?
I just want to say to her, obviously, first and foremost, I'm sorry to hear about, a lot of the things that's going on in her life. And I'm glad to hear that she's finding herself in a better space. But when we say that you're never healed, what we mean is as good as you feel right now, there is more. You can feel even better. You can release even more things that you may not even be aware of. So what we're really saying is just keep going, keep accepting the things that you're learning about your life, and don't close that door because you think getting past that is the end now and you're just good. It's just about continuing to live in that space and recognize the things that you're recognizing now.
Okay, then I can understand. I could agree to that because I'm honestly, I think at the age of 20, I realized I started seeing my personality. Like I spent years just trying to figure out who I was because for so long I had survived. I was just living in survival. And so I'm not stopping therapy anytime soon, no matter how good I feel right now. Because even as I'm interacting with people, I still creep up and open little corners of myself where I didn't even know existed. And I'm like, ooh, I gotta heal that. I gotta get that addressed. I got to work on that. Mm-hmm. So even right now in my workspace, so I work in healthcare, and some of y'all might know how toxic the healthcare space is. So, and a lot of that stuff models a family. And I'm not going to lie, I walk in and I feel like I'm back in my family. Like it'll send me back just because some of the personalities that I meet. So I'm working on it right now. My therapist, like literally just trying to figure out, and therapy doesn't give you the answers. It simply just gives somebody the outside view, the bird's eye view of your life, and they help you figure out a way out of that maze. And they just point out certain things to you that sometimes you can't see or you're immune to seeing because you're living in it.
And a lot of therapy and the work that you do in therapy is more about you learning how to manage your triggers because the world's not going to stop triggering you.
At all. I think the world got worse once my mom died, honestly. They didn't care. I feel like, oh my gosh, what are you feeling right now?
I'm just, it just is what it is. I'm a feminine man.
You know what?
I've been touching. I'm in.
Why would you do that?
Now, why in the world? San Diego.
This is a learning space, and we had just.
I'm playing. I'm lighting the mood. I'm in tune with my feminist. No, I'm just playing. Man, no, I just feel sad for you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't. I see I hear this on a daily basis. There's a lot of women that go through this. There's women that's afraid to come out and share their stories because the first person to deny it. How can I say this without pissing men off? There's a lot of there's a lot of men that's first to come out and then deny what the woman been through. They literally don't believe. They say don't believe a woman. It's sad. It's just sad that you had to experience all this. But one thing I want to say is congratulations to all the work that you put in and the success that you're having, and that you're able to unpack a lot of these things, and that at least you see it. You see that you needed to get some help, and you went out and got it, and that's what matters. That's what matters. But again, there's no and ma'am, there is no amount, like, there's no amount of healing. Or there is nothing that's going to take away your mother being gone. Now I don't know what you and your mama's problem was, but there's even feeling that, right? There's nothing that's can ever take that away. You can get the tools for it. You can pray about it. You can scream and yell if you have to. You go to therapy, talk about it. But like that's just something that's going to some things are going to stick with you because they're just that impactful.
Yeah, death is one of those things. I would definitely say that.
Okay. And well, somebody had tried to interject a second ago. Somebody.
No, I said what I needed to say. I was just saying a lot of therapy is about just learning how to manage your triggers, and you're not gonna know if you know what you're doing until you are then faced with said trigger again. A lot of people go into therapy thinking that just because I done sat here and talked all this stuff out with my therapist, or I've done some somatic therapy, I did a few sessions of hot yoga, that I'm be able to figure it out. But you are not gonna really know if the therapy is working until that trigger comes back up in your life. We're talking about, parent unalives and stuff like that. A lot of people, if they parent unalive before they have kids, having children re-triggers them because it's like, I don't have somebody here to guide me in the process of guiding this other human being. So then you got to figure out, okay, is my therapy working? Whatever, is going on. If you had trauma from relationships or SA or SH trauma, the next time that for example, I've been carjacked before. So having to go through therapy and deal with the fact that someone essentially took away my agency in a situation and stole my stuff. Now, if I'm in public, if I'm pumping gas, I've got to be okay with not reacting just because somebody is walking towards me. I got to see if the therapy is actually working, and also if my mouse tool works as well. Just in case some things pop off. I plan on getting to. I'm gonna call them Invisalign and hot comb because if you play with me, you might get some straightening. But y'all get the point. A lot of times when you're going through therapy, it is about making sure that you get to a point where you can manage your triggers or also manage your environment so that you don't get triggered in the first place.
Tam, did you want to say anything?
I'm gonna yield.
Okay. So we finna move into last words. We're gonna start with because I'm finna end it, but we're gonna work up the panel. BPG, we're gonna start with you, boss lady.
Yeah, I think that I think a lot of what everybody said was very important, and I think that it boils down to, especially pertaining to all of the topics that you have here, is that for a lot of people, you are going to have to figure out how to find value in yourself before you ever find that in anybody else. Black women, particularly, we have a habit of putting ourselves on the back burner in order for the community to thrive, in order for the greater good. We do it with our children, we do it with our spouses, we do it with our families. We take care of everybody but ourselves. And in order for us to be able to properly care for ourselves, we have to start remembering that we are an essential character within the plot. That if you make sure that you are okay, then that means a whole lot of other people are okay. Because if you're considering 10, 12, 15 people on a daily basis and how you can care for them, that means that the number one person you need to be caring for is yourself. Because if you're not there to take care of those 10 to 12 to 15 people, then who else will? Who else will consider those people? So I think that it's very important, especially for Black women, not only to care for themselves, but also to educate yourself as much as possible. Because what you don't want to do is, maybe not in this life. This has been a very pleasant life. But when you get in these lives, and I don't mean to switch to the little hood side, but when you get in these lives and these niggas want to play in your face and act like you don't have the information or the words to be able to properly express not only how Black women have contributed to the larger community, but also what an asset we are to the globe. You need to be able to arm yourself with information so that you know not only to recognize the things that are happening with you, but to recognize the things that are happening within the community and how you can be of service to yourself and everybody else. So that'll be my last words. Thank you for having me up.
Thank you for coming. You're welcome anytime. You know that. CK. All right, CK stepped away. Mohana. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I don't want to get nobody's name wrong.
You're good. Honestly, this was such a pleasant live. Probably like one of the top 2 that I've ever been in. I like the fact that it wasn't even, I shared some really deep stuff on here. However, it wasn't more of like a sympathy or like a pity. It was, I honestly felt like you guys don't even know who I am, but the level of concern, respect, and even
opposition or protection that you guys even yielded to me to even just let me know like you would never have to expose yourself. I really appreciate that, and I'll definitely take some of the things that I learned today with me in consideration in general. But yeah, this was really, really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Extra crispy.
So first of all, thank you all for making the space and creating an opportunity to have conversations and be mature. We all as content creators and live creators know how it can be the wild, wild, ignorant, obtuse west out here sometimes. So again, we appreciate y'all, maintaining maturity and governing yourselves according to the program. That being said, cook yourself before somebody else does. Make sure that you are well done before somebody else does, because what we tend to do outside is think that, like I said, other people gonna save you from yourself. That is not how life works. You have to put your mask on. We talk about that all the time. When you find a plane, you got to put your mask on first. So I would just advise anyone under the sound of my voice, put your mask on first. Whatever self-reflection and introspection that you need to do that before you go outside and start bleeding on people that did not cut you. That's what the therapy is for, so that you can stop bleeding on folks and wiping your butt and throwing the tissue at folks before you go outside. Protect yourselves from yourselves. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see y'all soon.
Welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime. Miss Tam.
Thank you so much, host and panel, for this beautiful discussion. I just want to echo the sentiments of everybody that just spoke, but really focus on your prompt where it says Black women are not a bank. Please don't look at that, ladies, as just financial. That is physically, emotionally, and mentally. Okay? We need to protect and not allow people to pull from us while not refilling our cup for us. What we have to do is do that ourselves. So everyone be safe, be happy, drink water. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night as well. Thank y'all. The Gray Ghost.
Yeah. First and foremost, thank you for hosting, and presenting the statements in question here. I appreciate all the different perspectives and the variety of experiences. I would say that we all are banks, and at the end of the day, we need to be a lot more choosy about who we giving these loans out to, just like Bank of America and the rest of them. So if you invest in yourself, that's the best investment you can make.
Thank you, brother. CK, you back? All right, CK gone. All right, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I do pray over my lives. I am a Christian, of course, if you didn't know that. So I do pray before. And if you're not a believer, that is okay. You can leave. I thank y'all for joining. But anyway, and thank people on YouTube. I sent the link this time, so y'all can't say that y'all didn't get a chance to. I even started. Y'all can't say y'all didn't get a chance to come up here. One person did come up here, and I appreciate it for coming up here. But let's get it. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you. Lord, thank you for this productive conversation. And Lord, for the lady that came up and shared her testimony. May she be protected. May you heal her from any unhealed trauma that she still may that still may be lingering. And God, for every person on the panel, every viewer, even the haters, Lord, I pray that you bless them, Lord, touch them, Lord. Let them know that everything gonna be okay. Now, Lord, we have Donald Trump as president, and we don't. The next 4 years, it can be anything, but Lord, we know you're in control. We know you're on the throne. I just pray that every Black family buckle down, every Black child is protected, every Black woman is cared for, every Black man is cared for, protected. God, I'm just praying for a community. I hope that we can, in the future, talk about our differences without just screaming and yelling at each other. And actually, the man can listen to the woman, and women can listen to men. Women always listen to men, but we ain't gonna say nothing like that. But I just pray that we can have a communication, a fixture of fixing our communication issues, God, and that we can have more empathy, sympathy, and grace for one another. Lord, we pray that things just get better. It's a little ugly. It's a lot ugly. The whole world is in shambles. People barely have food in their refrigerator. People barely have gas. Lord, the economy messed up. God, we just praying that it all gets fixed soon in your name. In your name, Jesus. And God, I want to just thank you for every person that came up. BPG, I forgot all the other people named, TK, Mr. Ghostface, Extra Crispy, all of them. I don't know their names by heart, Lord. Tam, that you just blessed them tonight. You know what I'm saying? I just thank you. Thank you for being you. And God, we never really thank you for the small things. Some of us got food in our refrigerator. Some of us got water to drink. Some of us got clothes on our back, shoes on our feet, bills paid. We ain't going without. And we want to say thank you for that, because we oftentimes don't thank you for the small things that we have, that we are being sustained, And some people don't have jobs, but we have one. God, we don't say thank you enough, so just thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Listen, thank y'all for joining. Love y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll do this again tomorrow. Different topic, of course. And we'll try to keep it peaceful, but you know, if a dude come up here and say something stupid, you know, we got to get stupid. Black women, protect yourselves at all times. Black men, the good black men, I love you. There's no children on this live, so I can't really say nothing to them. But protect the kids, man. Protect the kids, literally. But y'all have a good one.